right. All right. So this is you already gave away one of the answers. Oh my god. I don't okay. Yeah. Okay. So we're playing Who Are Your Hosts? Where you guess in the chat. Who are your hosts? I am person one, but with me is person two. Hello, person two.
Hello, it's me, person number 2. I'm
All
here.
right. The bit's over. We're canceled. All right.
It's me. I'm person number 2.
Oh, it's Lindsay number 2. I'm from London, if anyone has any guesses.
Who else is here? I think we have person number 3. Who's there?
Hello, I come to you from Mother Russia. I am happy to hear. My name is Borishkakov, and I am here to play with Mickey Mouse cards in order to win. How you Americans say Lorcana challenge?
Mickey Mouse space cheese.
Yes.
We're
Where
done.
is Goofy? I have great anger with this dog. He walks, but Pluto does not. How you explain? I do not understand.
Why duck wear no pants?
Right. Thank you.
Nobody wears pants, yo. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
In my country, pants wears you. Just kidding.
Yeah.
That's where all the jokes have to end about Russia.
And we're done.
Steve, and welcome. It's the Wednesday ICL. Are we? Can they see our faces? I'm not in Canva editing as fast as I can. Okay. God, did they guess right? Did they guess right? No one guessed. All right, that's okay. Listen, guys, I try really hard to make this a fun and interactive environment. No, how's everyone? Well, first off, we can. I think every time JDZ is now in public this week, we have to make him relive everything that went bad. So do we want to start there, or do we want to go around the horn and introduce ourselves?
I think we can go around the horn. I think people know who we are. I think at this point,
What?
I think people know who Ridge Roach is. People know who you are, and people know who I am. And I'm certain people know who Luke is. But
And Luke's with us. He's actually the purple orb. That is him pulsating in the background. He's with us always. But yeah, I guess if you're here,
we do have updates though. I did procure enough items to salvage a stream, so I will be back at it again tomorrow. The Quest World stream will return tomorrow afternoon, so stay tuned, keep it locked, don't touch that dial, keep feedbacks up, and we're gonna be back. But how have you been, Katie? How was your any news happening around the Lorcana world?
No, I didn't check my phone this morning. No, just kidding. I was laying in bed, so like I sleep in late, like really late every morning. You can't make me wake up, won't do it. And my phone is just like bah. And I'm like, okay, like guys, what's going on? And the answer is everything. It was like the community scene or the GIF where you walk in and like you're like, I brought pizza, and to me it was I brought my unconscious body, and then and it wasn't like it was just like Twitter, Instagram, So, but the answer is nothing happened, everybody's fine, and the answer was I had a package out for delivery, so FedEx has no chill. So anyway,
okay. Yeah, we probably won't discuss anything that went down, but it was a very interesting day. I mean,
I think everyone can we at least
talk about the official statements that were released via the Twitter? Did you guys see the Twitter video? Not Twitter. I'm sorry, Twitch.
Twitch, yeah.
Twitch stream that came out.
We know when Worlds is.
We know that they have a nice little studio. That's a news that I didn't see anyone talk about.
I like that, and I am hopeful that he said there's going to be more streams coming from that studio. So they're going to get some work out of it. They got it all built up. It looks nice. The lighting is phenomenal.
Most important part is they had an audio issue, and I've never felt more seen in my entire life. That was like, holy cow! If they can have an audio issue, I can have an audio issue. It's a treat.
I thought they went to the Luke school of streaming there.
I was like, that made me so endeared. I was immediately like, well, I'm endeared.
You're not a true streamer if you're not having audio issues. There it is.
Exactly. You have to have it. It's a rite of passage. And they said, hey, our first stream up, audio issue. And I'm like, oh, celebrities, they're just like us. But yeah, there were some things that they talked about. I guess it is public. Yeah, that I'm not going to Worlds, and so Red Rose, you're not going. Basically, It's an invite. So check your mail, see if you got an invite. And so I think we're going to introduce the players, but I mean, maybe in the post show we can talk about that because sure. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm going to Disney World at some point anyway, so that's like not a problem. But I have feelings. We all have feelings, but right now we're going to talk about our feelings. Well, actually, no, I'm going to stall a bit more because I need to do one more thing. It's in the folder, Luke. It's in the folder. Okay. So now let's just talk about who's Matt. Who are the teams? Let's just say that because I mean that's easy. You don't need any specifics there because you already memorized that.
Okay, 20 lore versus the Sunflower Illumineers. Both of these teams have been, I'm going to say, on the struggle bus a bit there. They've been kind of down horrendous. Some would say in these
No.
few rounds of the ICL. Down Omega.
Here's the thing.
Thoughts?
I mean, at the end of the day, you can't have a top 8 without a bottom 4. So, I mean, at the end of the day, someone in this league is going to be the one that loses some matches. And we just, I mean, imagine if we're like, actually, everyone has an undefeated record because after you're defeated, you get eliminated. So, they're struggling, but are they struggling or are they just having a less good, just a little less? You don't know.
I mean, it happens though. I did have the opportunity to meet with some of the Sunflower Illumineers down at the Lucky Llama this past weekend. Phenomenal people. I mean, I like them all. A few of them have been on this broadcast, and I've shared a booth with a lot of their players. And it's just unfortunate because I know that they do not represent the record that they are claimed to have. I think they're a much stronger unit than what their record says. But the 20 Lore Pro is another organization that I am slightly surprised by the outcome of what they had. I think they have a very talented roster of players, but they just didn't or weren't able to put it together this season. So we're playing for some bragging rights here, and I'm in for that because no one wants to be 0 for a lifetime. Somebody wants to get the Dublinsky to end this season, but I don't know what do you think, Red Rose? What do you think about being 0 for everything? Being
the sky's the limit.
Being undefeated. What do you think? Are you going to think they're going to come out taking it serious, or are you think they're going to just try to just roll over and just play dead?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because I think about that in professional sports all the time too. Is like, well, what do you have to do? You actually have something to play for? And at least in professional sports, a lot of times you see that when you don't have anything to play for, they start to dip. So I'm going to lean towards that way. But I've also have seen enough of the reverse where it's like, no, I just want to play spoiler. I want to do it, or I have that competitive edge. So I'm going to keep going there. So I'm going to lean towards the have nothing to play for side, but I could be wrong.
And that's called a loser's attitude because this, we're in the ICL and, you guys might not know this. There's only, how many teams we have? 20 teams, 18, 16? You want to play your heart out. This is, you're on the main stage. Everyone's watching. So it'd be a little embarrassing to give up because then it kind of shows that like, whatever, I don't care. And like, no one loves that person at the LGS. So whatever, it wasn't fun anyway. And I wasn't going to win. So if you feel, I think they're going to show up because they don't. The Sunflower Illumineers, first off, they're driving all over the place. They're going to Arkansas. I saw them in Denver the weekend before. So they're mobile. They're hungry. And then 20 Lore Pro, they literally have pro in their name. So these are hungry teams. And I will give them a stern talking to if I find out that they're pulling punches.
I mean, they might just be trying to prevent an injury, though, right? He goes to golf cart and my wrist.
That's such a good point. I didn't think about that.
Trying to set up for some draft picks next season. They're trying to lose tank for Zan or something.
You got to get that higher draft pick.
No.
Can they hear you?
Yeah, Luke, are you telling everyone? Because that was a long announcement for us to be quiet. Oh.
I mean, that's definitely a long awkward pause for all of us too.
Yeah, we all, and I forgot it.
It's impossible to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, now chat can hear me too, since they don't understand how to listen, and I'm not in a mood. I got a tooth pulled today.
You're right. Okay, I got you. Go be injured. Go be injured. We got you. Okay, so here's what Luke said. If you guys paid attention to the last round of the ICL, there was a multiple draw situation where only the team that won played only one game to win, one match won, and the rest were draws. So that will open up more avenues for other teams to get in. So I think that is something that we need to look out for. But still, I think these records are quite bad. I think both of these teams are 0-3 right now. Trying to, so I think
0-2, right?
They're 0-2.
Yeah.
So there is a slight window of opportunity for them to potentially make it in if they come out and have a phenomenal showing and get like a sweep here, one side or another. Then potentially there's a chance that they could maybe slide in, and that is that last wild card pick or that last playoff spot. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to see it.
I decided to eat a piece of hard candy. That was like really a bold choice on my part, but I went there and I have to finish it through, and I'm just going to call it out that I know what I did and it was wrong. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead. Let's see. A man in the booth. Are we ready to talk about these wonderful 6 players today? Maybe. Either way,
Well, if we have to randomly decide who's winning, which we usually do,
yeah, we can start that
already.
before
I'm going to say,
seeing.
like, based just on logos, like, no offense to 20 Lord Pro, that logo is kind of boring. Like the
It's
sunflower
crispy
one is
though.
so pretty.
That's crispy though. I love a nice simple. If you take something that's like, let's say, like something you buy every week, and then you put like a simplistic minimalist logo, millennial coded, I'm in. So I don't know, 20 Lore's logo.
Wait, hold up. 20 Lore has J-Bomb? When did they get J-Bomb?
J-Bomb CPA. So
when did they get J-Bomb on their team? Hold up. 20 Lore is recruiting? Oh man, this might change some things. Let's go.
Apparently he was someone called in sick. So.
Okay. I think that's a nice quality draft pick. And you know what? You did mention that, Rose, when you're going down early in the season, you want to try to get some new picks in to test their legs out, see what they can do. And this rookie coming in, J-Bomb, I think that's a solid free agent pickup that the 20 Lore Pro team has now added to the roster. And I expect good things from J-Bomb coming here. Tell me about those qualifications. I can't read them.
I can. Okay.
I say I
just want to be like, I know how to read, but no, Rose, you show them. I made it.
All right. So Mr. J-Bomb, full name, of course, Jeff Baumgartner from the CPA, but does go by J-Bomb. So it looks like his qualifications are qualified for the first Hearthstone North American Continentals. Wow, what a accomplishment that is. Won 20 store champ promos in 21 events, including I think that's 13 mats. Holy cow.
One might say he lost one. He kind of put that there. He said I lost a store champ. So
I mean, yeah, that's what a 900 plus average. Like I'm putting him on my batting team. My goodness.
Yeah. All right.
Want to let it go in Seattle, placing top if that was the top, was that say 20? That one's a little hard to read for me too.
Oh, that is
top 128.
Or top
100. Top 100.
Top 100. The hot 100 is what.
Of course, couldn't ultimately beat Mr. Luke, but hey, that's okay. You can't. And then finally, that last one, if I can read it. Nope, it got too fuzzy.
Pocket Dog Enthusiast.
Let's go.
Now, I need you to know he sent me a list of probably 7 to 8 bullet points, and he said the only one that I could not eliminate was Pocket Dog Enthusiast. So I think it's important to know that is the last fact, but it was the most important. And there's some things I didn't even tell you because I had to edit it out.
You'll have to forgive my ignorance. What is a pocket dog?
It's when you have a. Sorry, go ahead, Katie.
Well, I was about to pull mine out, but you go ahead.
Yeah, it's just a hot dog in the pocket. You pull it out and you dog up, dude. That's it.
You just keep a real hot dog in your pocket. All right.
You never know when you got a dog up, dude. There it is.
And it's important because what happens is you have your hot dog and then you have a road dog, which can be your pocket dog. And so, if you have it in your pocket and then you it's just kind of, you never know when you're going to need a second hot dog.
Fair enough.
So,
yeah. I'll be interested to see what J-Bomb's going to be cooking tonight. And LEO says that they designed that logo you have in the middle of the chest there. Shout out to that logo. And shout out to Sauce K here. Very menacing stare down at that photograph.
Yeah, he mad. Why are you mad at us? Don't be mad, Sasuke.
Is that Riz or is that Matt? Thoughts?
Well, I think isn't Riz just a little like mewing? Isn't mewing just being like?
I mean, there's a nice little mew there, but the eye. I'm talking about the pouty eyes there.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying that like anger is like kind of like it could be like, and so
it's giving anger, but kind of like a seductive anger, I would say.
I'm glad you're receiving it. I think that's the important part is that he sent it and you received, and that's all we can ask for in this world. But can you read that, or do you want me to be the person?
I got you. I think I can read this one. He's rank 7, North America Legends of Runeterra. What are we talking about? Okay. What is that?
It's a mobile card game.
And also, he's going to be rank 11 World Gwent. Why are we talking Gwent? Why are we talking Runeterra? Okay, let's bring some Lorcana into the building there, Sauce K. Let's talk about your favorite sauce. I mean, your name is Sauce K.
He freaked me out so bad I spelled North wrong. So like think about that. Or,
I'm fine with it. You shouldn't even put it on there. Listen, let me tell you guys out there. Okay. We're cutting everything else. If it's not Lorcana, get it off the card. Okay, we don't want to see it.
Yesterday, like we literally said yesterday, we should celebrate other players. Yay!
You're right. Never mind. Put it back on.
All right, put it back on. All right.
We're back on.
Okay. He's fired. Now get him back in here and rehire him.
You're back in. I'm kidding.
Here at the ICL, we love Legends of Runeterra and Gwyn. That's the green character from the card game, the one I open and I go, it's Gwynge.
I think it's called Gwent. That's what I say. Gwent.
I love that people play the game in a game. I love this game so much. I put a game in your game.
The Witcher. Yeah, The Witcher is a game. Whatever. Okay, but still, we know Sasuke. He does a lot of broadcasting and commentary work as well. He has shared a booth. He's been on this illustrious stage here at the ICL before, and he's got a great insight into the game. I'm interested to see what he's going to be playing tonight here and what round he's going to turn up for. But shout out to you. Shout out to Gwent and shout out to Legends of Runeterra. Maybe I'll try those out myself.
Nope.
Probably won't.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna
maybe.
say nah. It's like a little fact, that label there, you can tell. So I did a little AI, so that is not the bottom half of his t-shirt. So I just think that's kind of fun. A little behind the scenes of how I'm working here. Sometimes I have to give you guys a body if you don't give me one.
Okay.
That's it. I just want you guys to know how I work. Next.
Right on.
Sometimes it's horrible what comes out when I do AI, by the way. Anyway.
Yeah.
Lastly, we got the questing queen, Clara Syrup, 20 Lore Pro. It didn't work. Anyway,
Almost.
we got.
No, I was thinking that same song. I heard ABBA in my head when I read the words.
You could have done the.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Clara, if you know her, you love her. She has been in the booth with me for more. There's times where she spent more time with me in a month than I think I spent with my husband, because we were just in the booth for like 3 weekends in a row. But Clara, you know her from top 16 of DLC Las Vegas, and she's a caster. I just kind of said that. I kind of get sorry, spoiler alert. She does casting, and JDZ's been in the booth with her. I've been in the booth with her. I don't know if you've ever casted with her, Red Rose, but yeah, she's a casting queen, questing queen. She yes, queen.
Questing queen. And she does have a great insight into the game. You notice that she's holding the emerald and amber card. That's kind of her color group that she's kind of popularized over the past few weeks and months. So I'll be interested to see if she brings that to this tournament tonight. I mean, I don't know what round she's going to be in, but she's definitely one of the MVPs of the squad. And I think they're going to be leaning heavily on the questing queen in their new addition. J-Bomb and Sauce K can hopefully put the Rune Terror down and bring up a dub. So I don't know. We'll see. I like this roster they brought tonight.
It's important to know Clara don't go to time. Clara is going fast. So that's why I'm so excited. Do I have Clara's match? That's what I'm looking up right now. Because earlier this week we went to time a few times.
Yeah. That was probably the longest episode of the ICL we've ever had, I will say.
We aged 1,000 years.
It's been 84 years.
Okay. All right. And that's a 20 Lore Pro organization. Again, I think they brought a nice sizable unit, but let's check out the Sunflower Illumineers and see who they brought to the tournament today.
That's the breeze going through the sunflowers.
Sunflowers.
I'm
gonna tell you, sunflowers look cool in person. If you can
They're
see
a little scary.
wild sunflowers growing with the seeds and everything.
They turn their heads. So
Yeah,
this is
I love how tall they get.
Here we go. Let's go around the horn a few more times. All right, sunflower. Your next fact, JDZ, about sunflowers.
I like them. I mean, they're neat. And speaking of one, we have one here.
Yay!
We have the bro Hamilton looking good. Does not have his sunflower gear on. That's automatic points off for Gryffindor there. Got the ponytail up, so that's more points in. As we have the black T holding up the box with the Lucky Dime, Sisu, and Tamatoa. Looking good, looking clean, looking elegant. Thoughts on the bro Hamilton?
Very happy that he showed a little cheeky tip of his ponytail there, because famously, Sailor, player of Maelstrom and world's qualified player, he doesn't really show that ponytail in pictures. So you meet him, bam, ponytail, and you're not ready for it. I've had a lot of caffeine today, guys. I'm not doing well. But either way, it's scary when you don't expect it, because like not only you're met with a lot of things. First off, he's 1,000 feet tall, and then he turns his head and there's a ponytail in, and it's just like so many things you learn. But Hamilton says, hey, I got a ponytail, don't be scared. And I appreciate that.
I did meet bro Hamilton as well. He came down to the Lucky Llama. Fantastic individual. We've also shared a booth doing some commentary work, and I'm glad he's out here playing. I'm gonna see what he's gonna be playing tonight. He's got some cool stuff he's cooking up, and he's gonna be joined by SFI Dunbar. I don't know much about this player. Red Rose, Dunbar?
Mr. SFI. I want to say sci-fi Dunbar, but I would assume it's just SFI's Dunbar.
Sunflower Illumineers.
Yeah. So let's look at some of his credentials. First, we have a top cut TCG con in Houston. This was for Lorcana, so that'll keep JDZ happy. No other game here. Then we have a top 8 SCG opening in Kansas City. Now, this was for Magic the Gathering. So
get it out of here.
Game.
Run it.
And we do have one more of those. 2011 Kansas State champion, also for Magic the Gathering. That sounds like a heck of a tournament to win. So I'll still give him his sunflowers, if you will.
He deserves his flowers of sunflower.
That's pretty good.
I don't know.
You're on fire.
Now, there was supposed to be an amendment because Gabe Golfer very, very notably won the SSG Denver while I was there. I like to think I helped a little, but either way, that's not on this card. But the other things on here is that he ranked 84th at DLC Seattle, finals in a 1K split, top 4 in a 1K split. So he's leaving. So we got to watch out here. He might try to leave this game, and we cannot let him split the ICL. But either way, he was also a finalist in 6+ set champs. So Gabe has been good, and he also is currently good because he just won that SSG.
And he is Gabe Golfer. I wonder if he actually golfs or if it's just going to be Gabe Golfer.
What a red
Gonna be
herring. What a red herring that would
Right?
be.
We'll have to find out. I'll write that down as one of the questions I think we should ask. Is he a golfer or is it just Gabe Golfer as a
I wanna
as a username there?
Could
I
be
want to see him
family
in the
name.
I want to see him in the middle of a match, put like a golf tee, and then we can be like, oh, he's teeing up. He's getting ready to knock him
go.
out with his card combo.
I think the golf puns just kind of write themselves. I think
Right.
there's so much you can do with that. There's so much you can work with. He's in the box. I don't know. He's teeing off. I don't know. I'm a big fan of golf commentary, so we can work that in if Gabe the golfer is going to be a part of this. But I think that the teams are set. The matchup is there. Who do you think has the advantage here of these players? Because it looks like we're going to be kicking this thing off here quite soon.
I mean, I feel like J-Bombs he's here. I mean, he's like that rookie that comes in and he's not tired because he hasn't been playing all season. Well, like, he wants to show that 20 lore, he's got all 20 of it basically. So I think he's going to win. I think Claire's going to win, but then it's hard because I actually think Sunflowers is going to win. So yeah, they're both going to win. JDZ, who do you think is going to win?
I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. No Lycos in the roster today.
That is
okay?
tough. Yeah,
I think that's a misplay. I think she's their MVP. I think she's their heavy hitter. She's their home run getter. Okay, they're going to have to lean on Bro Hamilton and Gabe the golfer. I don't know if Gabe's going to be golfing, but he needs to be locked in and laser focused on some Lorcana. So it depends on what kind of showing we get out of SFI Dunbar there. If I don't know much about them either. But if they're not showed up ready to play, I think Claire's going to get a bucket. And I think the rookie J-Bomb's going to come in there and get a bucket. But if Bro Hamilton can deliver, and if the other gentleman can knock it, Gabe Golfer, I think we're going to get a game 3. I think it'll be a game 3, and I'm leaning on Sunflower Illumineers. I'm betting on them. I think that's what's going to happen today. Sunflower takes it down.
Yeah, I'm going with Sunflowers just because I realized I didn't pick one. But Sunflowers, I mean, they have that momentum. Yeah, and Lycos is standing behind Bro Hamilton the entire time going, you better freaking win right now. So that's just important. But anyway, Red Rose, take it home.
All right, to quote Tangled, flower gleam and glow.
Let's go.
Let your power shine.
Oh.
These sunflowers will rise and take what once was mine.
Let's go.
I have every faith they are going to win because sunflowers are a plant that keep growing taller. They are a head above all the other plants in the garden, and they rise and they reach for that top. They're going to wind back the clock on 20 Lore Pro and take the surprise victory. I'm voting for the sunflowers.
That was really nice. I really liked all of that. Well, I guess we did it. I guess well, and we're gonna kick off just Red Rose. We're gonna kick off Red Rose and then start round 1. But Red Rose, you're coming back, so it's never.
Yeah,
really
I'll be back
nice
for round
to see
3.
Later.
Got to go get all JDZ'd up, put my
Let's go.
jacket on and everything.
Let's do it. Oh, am I in? I'm not even in the Discord. I forgot I was.
Are
first.
you in round 1? I thought you were round 1.
Am I round 1? I will be round 1. I don't. All right, Katie. Let me adjust. Let me just adjust my frequency real quick, and I'll be ready to do round 1.
It is
no
you.
big deal. That's fine. You can change it. You can leave it. I'll be whoever I need to be to get this thing absolutely underway.
Yeah, and
let's lock in.
We got a storied match ahead of us because I mean, right now we have J-Bomb, who we just said is here with probably glizzies in both pockets. Is a glizzy a hot dog?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. And then I know because I'm just so afraid the chat blows me up with things I say. They're like, "Guess what? You ruined it." Anyway. But we got Bro Hamilton, who I saw him. He didn't win. But he goes in the top 8 of 3 days in a row at SSG Denver 2 weeks ago. So but we see J-Bomb with a button-up shirt. I don't know. That kind of.
Yeah, I think the fit alone, the fit check might be on J-Bomb, and the mat, the drip is very complete on J-Bomb. So I might be switching my allegiance here because he's quite his mat, the collared sleeve, the ring. You got the graded discard card right there in the discard pile. Thoughts on that, Katie? I haven't seen drip like that in a long time.
I think that we talk about like, hey, don't get tilted, but I'm tilted. If I see somebody showing up with a discard graded, I didn't even notice. Yeah, I'm tilted. I'm scooping. I'm going to Scoop City, and I think that's I don't know. I'm very intimidated by both opponents all of a sudden. I just feel like the energy changed.
It's slammed up, but Bro Hamilton will not be denied doing exactly what you want to do in this matchup. Starting strong. Got a nice established beefy board of these 1-cost characters, getting gritty, getting loose. 1 Chernobog is exerted. So I think you identified that this is Ruby Sapphire, I believe, versus Emerald or Amethyst something. I haven't looked at the deck list yet.
Yeah. So I mean, I know, but we're gonna wait one more card because like it's fun. This is the only time we get to be cheeky and be like, "What is it? I don't know." But we do know that one deck is kind of saying, I have as much time. I have a few turns to really take advantage of what J-Bomb is up to, because J-Bomb is trying to build the classic Sapphire board state. So we do see that these Chernobog's and Brooms just kind of taking their time. I mean, really only the Chernobog followers need to feel any pressure. Well, Brawl might come out soon, but still, they have a little bit of breathing room here.
For sure. And this is an interesting point that I like to watch whenever I see these Amethyst players playing. I like to determine like if they're going to just quest this thing into the face of this Tipo or pop and lose some of your tempo. Tempo for Tipo, thoughts? I don't know. Let's stay tuned to find out. See how J-Bomb breaks it down.
No thoughts on that. Just vibes.
As we're thinking long and hard here, probably about that very same thing, because if you do exert these Chernobyls, you will gain that lore, but you will not get that card back if Tipo elects to trade into it. And most times Tipo will go ahead and take that trade. So interesting turn here, starting this game off.
And one thing that's really hard is, I mean, we don't necessarily know, does he have some kind of good card draw engine? Because I know from playing against Ruby Sapphire, anybody that's played against Ruby Sapphire knows it'll take your dreams away. So you gotta dance, quest like no one's watching. And so if I had a pretty good card or clutch of cards, this is a nice move here. Now, notably, none of them get to go to the library, which is sad. And it kind of calls Tipo's bluff.
Okay, so now that's interesting too. So electing not to pop, and now you really are putting a kibosh on this Tipo, or putting the onus on this Tipo to send in to one of these Chernobog followers, because if that library can stick around, which it probably will, you're going to get a tremendous amount of value when you do pop those cards next turn. As now Grandma Tala's up, you're going to be forced to get those things off the board.
Yeah, and it's kind of, it's the do you want to be chased sort of thing. And Sober Amington's definitely saying, you got to chase me. But I don't know. His J-Bomb's entire deck is, well, generally speaking, is designed to say, sure, do what you want. In fact, you can get to 19 if you really want to. So it's I always feel like prey against this deck, which honestly makes sense because we could see a shark any minute.
And that's what J-Bomb's kind of spooling up right here, just electing to take that trade. I think that's a very favorable trade. And now the onus is going to be back on to Bro Hamilton, who has this library set up. You can make a pretty dynamic turn next turn and get a tremendous amount of card advantage, is what you're going to need to propel yourself on into this late game. But interesting turns all around. Let's see if you have the resources to set up this library play, followed by another one-cost character to trigger some of these cards.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because, I mean, 4 cost is a pretty congested area of the deck. But that being said, going wide, which looks like he only just moved someone to the library to go ahead and get that extra card draw, get 2 cards. Makes me think he's still digging for some cool stuff. The fact that he's like, I'm gonna proactively draw cards here.
And now it would be even nice. I take a little bit of bounceration, maybe even just get an up tempo Madam Mim Fox down if you have that card, or maybe even get a Smee and get this Broom going with a Broom pop situation. I'm not sure, because now you get into this Maui area and you got to get maximum value out of this library before the Maui and Grandma Tala take it down. So interesting turns coming in from the Bro Hamilton, and these decisions are always going to be vital. Let's see what he does here.
Now, for just logging in, you might have noticed it does say that this is the Villain Club versus Backseat Genius. That is technically not true. We're going to get that updated, but it is 20 Lore Pro versus Sunflower Illumineer. So if anybody's like, what's going on here? We're going to get fixed. We're pros.
Yeah, we're working it.
Yeah.
We're working.
We got this. This is it's been Wednesday. It's been a Wednesday.
It's been a Wednesday for sure. As we are going to go ahead and take the opportunity now to go and set up that Broom into the library, but without a 2-cost character or a 1-cost character, it might prove futile. Let's see if we can get it. It will be the Smee. No, it's the Calhoun.
Calhoun, which, not my favorite play. It's rough because, at this point, J-Bomb has approximately 50 different ways to make Calhoun not have much impact here. So it's kind of rough, but it does give you a little bit of reach. At least if they wait and then basically kind of egg Bro Hamilton into challenging something, at least it would probably take out that Calhoun at this point.
For sure. I think that is, and also in this matchup, Calhoun just really isn't good. She doesn't quest for much. She can't challenge too much, and it's uninkable. Can't really do anything. He gets can trade with his Grandma Tala and gain 2 lore. Put Calhoun in the library, gain 2 lore. I think that seems like a favorable exchange and probably the best bang for your buck for Calhoun here. So I'm sure that Bro Hamilton is happy to see that Grandma Tala get exerted and no Maui come into the field of play on this turn. So interesting setup. Maybe we can get another up tempo Grandma to come on in. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think J-Bomb's looking for here with this setup he's got?
I don't. For a second, I was like, does he have 7 also? But no, he's at exactly 7 total. And but I mean, I think he's just kind of cruising. Like at this point, I think. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. So he's just casually taking time on that Maui, and so yeah, it's just kind of he's in the driver's seat in the sense that I mean, knowing how many cards he has in his hand. Well, he's got a good club with Japan, so Roehampton might be just kind of being very patient because he knows at any second J-Bong can just flip the board with a Be Prepared. So I think it's definitely not game over, but he does have to be cautious of what J-Bomb has in his hand and not overextend and just be patient, I think. But not too patient. Which is the complicated
not too patient. But like I said, I think I would like to see if Broham's going to get maximum value out of this library now with this Calhoun, because you will lose it next turn for sure. And getting this Grandma Tall off the board might be ideal for you, as J-Bomb probably got into that Maui a little bit too late, because I would have loved to see the Maui and the Grandma clear that library before you can get some more cards out of it. Smee goes down to the Inkwell. 5 in the Inkwell for Brohampton, which is, what can you do there? Bell can't do much.
No, Bell, her powers do not work on buildings here. So yeah, it's just kind of rough. I mean, I don't know what his hand looks like, but I mean, I guess the name right now is just stay in the game, try to keep inching closer. Cause I mean, unfortunately, that library is not going to gain any more lore at this point. Calhoun can't do anything cool. We don't have a Floodborn Calhoun. So yeah, he just has to decide, if I go wide, I might get Be Prepped. If I don't do anything, they'll take advantage of it. So it's kind of that darned if you do, darned if you don't. And you can tell, is sitting with that decision pretty heavily right now.
I think that's what he's elected to do. If you're going to pay three, usually it's going to bring a crab here. So crab charge to Calhoun. I don't hate this, but you're going to think about this for a second. You didn't put the Calhoun into the library. Maybe you got some more uses of this, of that ink that you have at your disposal. And you're just going to put the crab into the library here and pass. I don't thoughts on that. And you left one floating. I think you got to get that Calhoun into the library there in order to gain some cards. At least that would help you, especially if you're not going to use that ink. So I think Brohampton might have let that one slide. I'm not sure.
I think it's that survival mode math where you're thinking about what's the most important thing I need to do. And he's like, the library, or get rid of Maui. But I think like in that moment, I catch myself doing that where I get so caught up in like, this is a thing I need to accomplish, that I kind of, everybody makes those kind of mistakes there. But I'm sure later he'll look back and be like, drat, because of course that was the card that would have won him the game.
A little bit of tunnel vision goes, that it happens. A lot of people, like I said, do that. AO. Maybe he just forgot the library was even, or he knew because he moved the crab there. So
yeah, he's trying to save the library. So
for sure.
So yeah, I just think that he was so. This is like a gift of the Magi. He was so scared protecting the library that he forgot to even take advantage of the library itself.
He
did get one lore though, so that's the good news. I mean, he saved it to get one more lore pass. Well, no, he didn't, because it just went away. Never mind. He doesn't even get the lore. That's really sad. I'll write a story about it.
And it is getting to that really, really late term game, and J-Bomb's hand is still quite healthy. You got Tamatoa 6 down on the board, happy as a clam with 5 cards in hand, 2 of which are Popsicle that you can cycle next turn. So this is getting to the point where, like you said, it doesn't matter how much lore you have. If you're that Amethyst Steel player or Amethyst whatever, Amethyst Steel player, it doesn't matter, because they have so many cards in hand, and when you get to the late game, it's just going to be on downhill or an uphill battle for you. So you gotta start figuring something out here. You are sitting at 10, which is a comfortable spot, but still, you got to make something happen.
Yeah, I get very nervous in this spot here. Now, he just played a rabbit, which is interesting. Looking at the deck list, I might. That's an interesting thing there. So, but either way, the rabbit is a good way to bounce around, get some card draw. But we will go ahead and see here. He does get that Tamatoa and taking advantage of the card draw off them popsicles. Oh. I'm sorry. My brain is multitasking. I said off them popsicles, but that's what we got here.
For sure. As we are going to go ahead and get a little quest in, play the Popsicle for free, it seems. Get a nice little draw in. Happy as a clam, still a quite good card, as you'll just pay the full value for another issue of a secondary Popsicle. And I think you're still kind of killing here. If you can establish a Maui half shark right now, I think you're going to be on your way. And there he is, just like you drew it up, right on time. Maui half shark stings the board and stuns the situation. Now this grandma is free to sing or do whatever.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And it's hard because this is like, the synergy of crab and shark, like we talk about Hiram was a problem, but the problem was that Hiram just fed them. They are still a problem. So like they are their little recycling engine. They're gonna go ahead, get those get popsicles to get those actions back. So it's kind of and like you might have mentioned while I was typing, unfortunately, is that it really puts Brohampton in this no lose situation. He has to quest, he has to do something, but the shark says, freaking do it, I dare you. And he's just standing there doing what sharks do, chomping and stuff.
But it is good to remind ourselves that rabbit is still kind of just sitting there chilling as well, and he can sing Zeus pretty good. So a nice rabbit hit Zeus, blast the shark, maybe even do a little crab shenanigans onto the Chernobog, and you can take over control of this board and keep your rabbit remaining. So this is an interesting turn. If you got the Zeus here, that will be a nice swing in your favor from the Brohampton side of the field.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, Zeus is basically shark fuel, because I think like of the two, it's hard to get him to draw cards, but that shark can just get so much value, especially with Pirate's Life, where it gets lore just from Pirate's Lifing, and then it's just too much. The synergy is really hard to deal with. So Zeus is important, but then we've seen many times where there's usually, if you see a shark, that was probably a shark friend. So it's difficult. One Zeus is kind of stressful because it's a band-aid.
Yeah. So if you got one shark, they do Roman packs mostly. You still have to deal with this.
It's a pack animal, as well known.
But that would be incredible if you can sing shark, crash into the Grandma Tala with the crab, buff the Chernobog, take out the other whatever character you decide. I think that's a great use of your resources here. And let's see what Broham is going to do. He's going to set up another library, so this could be even better. Now you move the remaining of your characters in, and then we'll let same play off, and you're just on your way back. You're up in a mega way.
Yep. So there might be a pause here in a moment. We shall see. But either way, right now we're still getting cards. And I think the good news about J-Bomb's board is he doesn't want to get rid of that. I mean, he likes his cards. So it does put Brohampton in a little bit more of a comfortable position, going that, at the very least, you probably don't want to until it's emergency, and 10 is not emergency.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. As we are going to go ahead and get Library Rabbit going. That's a clean draw too. But still, you have to have answers for this Maui Half Shark, who is still up and active. And you did get rid of your singer as well. I would have loved to seen that Chernobog do that same play, and maybe you can pull a Zeus and sing it this same turn. So unless you're not playing Zeus, potentially, I think that could be something that you could have done. But you know what? We live and we learn, and we get loves. If you draw Zeus there, you're kicking yourself all the way up underneath that table.
Yeah, Zeus likes to show up and be like, "Oh, did you guys miss me?" And yeah, it's kind of hard because I mean, these decks, the steel deck, I mean, they traditionally, you got some strength, you got some Zeuses, and it kind of feels rough. It feels rough to prioritize them. So I think right now I'm getting okay. We're doing a check. So if you guys saw me distracted, it's because I can't multitask very well. And there was a discrepancy between, or possible discrepancy they're looking into. So just pausing the game and then seeing how that's going to impact the state of play. But essentially, we just want to make sure that what we're seeing on the screen matches what we have behind the scenes.
Oh man. Okay. So I'm pulling up the deck list myself now, and I can see some of the things in which unless you sent me the wrong deck, but the deck I see that there might be an issue. And I think that could come up. This is a tournament, and you do have to play the deck that you submitted to the tournament. And unfortunately, it seems as if, I cannot speak with 100% certainty, but it appears as if a player did not do that, and a illegal card has been spotted. So
yeah, which can happen. I mean, as we know, one of these decks I saw this week is called like Getting Ready for Set Champ. So I think everybody's right now in the eternal tweaking phase. So I would not be surprised. It can happen. Today's going to be the listen, things happen night. And I think that's just a good thing for today. Listen, life happens. We're all going to do our best. Okay, so J to Z, do you want to inform them?
Yeah. So after this just coming in from the production team and the judge staff, shout out to the judge staff, Phil and Ellie are in the building. There will be a game loss that has been issued to the Sunflower Illumineers for that. There has been a legal card that has been played. I don't know how we're going to correct it. Maybe we'll just call this a loss and move on to game 2. Okay. So there will be a game loss, and then Bro Hamilton from the Sunflower Illumineers will have to repair their deck to make it match what is on the submitted deck list, and then we're going to replay a game number 2 with J Bomb being in the driver's seat of game number 1. So don't touch that dial, keep it locked. That's what's happening here. Shout out to everyone for noticing that. Katie, I'm sure you noticed it almost immediately.
That's see, I have this thing called resting confused face. So someone in the chat said she did seem confused when she saw Rabbit, and you got it. One time I was in college and a professor in this giant stadium, or not stadium, but like one of those like audience halls goes, "You there? Are you confused?" I'm like, So yeah, the Rabbit was when I, unfortunately, because one of the things I was talking about was card draw. This deck, people titrate. I was seeing, is there Doc? Is there not Doc? And notably, I did not see Doc, but I also didn't see that little Rabbit. So as we know, there's lots of ways to draw cards in this deck.
Got it. All right. So they registered goat and played Rabbit instead. I mean, those things happen. I mean, they both cost 4. They both are Merlin. And
one is thinkable and one's not. So I'm interested on how that kind of affects looking at it now.
And that does stink, though. Nobody wants to win or lose that way, but it does happen. As we're going to go ahead and shuffle up and deal, and let's get that deck fixed real quick if we can. I don't see Bro Hamilton unsleeving, de-sleeving, unrobing, derobing right now. And I see J-Bomb, who probably, I think that match was too close to call. I'm not seeing any Cobras in here. And now you say he's not playing goats at all?
It sounds like yes. So we did get the amended list. I can send that to you, I believe it's the right one.
Okay.
I will send that to you. Or rather, yes.
Okay. So he is going to. So the deck that he was playing was the correct deck, but he just submitted the wrong deck.
Correct. Yes. So he's not changing anything because it was a list itself that was wrong. So there we go.
Got it.
That's why he's not making any changes. Woo! We got it together. How many people does it take? Several. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So I'll. You know what? If I don't get the new list, it's fine. We'll just rock with it.
I just forwarded it to you, didn't I?
Did you?
Maybe not. I don't know.
That's
Life is really quite hard.
We'll make it happen, Katie. I'm sure. We'll figure it out.
Okay, so we got it, and it's where you just were told it is. So, looking at it, you're right. I mean, really, the only difference here is the Rabbit versus Goat. So he says, "Well, I don't need to make any changes, but I do take the game loss." So J-Bomb does take game 1, but that does mean Bro Hamilton gets to go first. As we know, in an aggro deck, that's not the worst thing in the world. But like you said, I mean, that momentum. It's hard because at that turn, I feel like even at 18, you're really not safe against J-Bomb's kind of deck. So I don't want to speculate too much on who would have won, but certainly it feels bad to have it taken away to know the natural way.
For sure. And I even as J-Bomb, I've gotten to know J-Bomb over the past few months, and I know that he's a competitor, and nobody wants to take a win like that either way. I mean, that's just the rules of the game. People want to keep it in between the lines and win it the right way, but that's not J-Bomb's fault. You have to take it how it is. I mean, I'm sure he would say, just play it out, but that's not how it works, and you have to do things by the book. And I do appreciate the speed that we got that knocked out, and now it's in the past. So we'll let it lie.
And now we know he really wants card draw. That answered the question for me of, were you interested in, how aggressive did you want to be? It's apparently so aggressive that he said, get out of here, goats. Which, as we know, goats have been a hallmark feature of Amethyst decks for its, ability to close out games. And so it sounds like he said, in this case, I am so afraid of losing cards. I'd rather prioritize that than having that burst of lore gain that really, I think many people count on.
Yeah, usually I've seen these decks they play like and I did see him down in Lucky Llama again. He was playing like this purple steel. He had like some burn elements to it, or some lore, some reach elements. They had like a bunch of gathering wisdom and knowledge and giant cobras and all that kind of stuff. So interesting to see that he's not on that. He's just more on a standard mid-range style build, it appears. But now you're not even playing goats, and that information is now readily available to your opponent. So you're going to be back on the play this time. See if you start off with those one-cost characters you did last time. You had a pretty dynamic start last time.
Yeah, he had a nice start. So the good news is this deck is tailored to try its best to get those 1-drops. You're definitely making sure you have at least 1 or 2 because it is nice, especially now that he also has the intel that he's going against a deck that has a slower start. So while we talk about, he got a piece, these deck lists are closed prior. We don't release the decks to basically anyone other than the people casting and the judges until after the match. But now they both have a little bit more information about what they're dealing with. So it's not necessarily bad for one player or the other. It's just more information.
Absolutely. And it looks like J-Bomb is still doing what they want to do, starting no popsicle. And if you miss ramp here, you can't win. Let's see it. It is going to be Sales. So you're back in the play as you did get Chernobog and Smee on 1 and 2 for Bro Hamilton. So that's a clean start for you. And now J-Bomb has a clean start, but not with no popsicle on 1. So if you get a popsicle here on 3, you're back in the saddle. Can you do it?
It's hard. I mean, that's like you said. I mean, Popsicle is pretty vital to the plan. I mean, he's still ramping. And now this grandma's helping. So Popsicle is nice, but not as vital as it used to be to have it for that little mouse that just loved frozen treats. So that is the good news for him. But he found a Popsicle. You asked him to, and he said, for you do JDZ, I'll do it.
I got you, fam. But you did put that grandma down to the inkwell. So hopefully you got another 4-cost play. Grandma, seeing how far I'll go, get into the Tamatoa or get into the Shark. I still think that's good enough to beat a lot of players, a lot of decks, especially this Sapphire Amethyst deck. I don't think it can handle Shark too well unless you have a nice bounty of Zeus. And who knows? Maybe you drop some of the Zeuses in favor for some other things. Like this Iago is going to find his way down to the inkwell as library gets back up on 3.
Yeah. And so the library comes down here, which it's a nice card to get that tempo going. Now it is kind of hard coming down at this point because we know. Well, I guess he is safe for Maui. I guess I kind of miscalculated the math there. So coming down early is probably the right move because I mean he can't move anyone in there, but at least it invests and he can probably get at least 1 or 2 characters there next turn. So it's kind of an investment turn, just like all the options are, and tempo in the sense that it kind of makes it where you really can't pick both with your rush. So which one are you more intimidated by?
The painful inking of the uninkable Popsicle goes down there as you bring out the goof.
Oh, I love him.
Look at the goofball. And we're going to clear the Chernobog followers just to break up that potential draw. You will get some of that draw back if you go for Smee library goof combination here. That could be a way to get some back. But the super goof coming out on 4, clearing this Chernobog followers, you will take some damage. That goof is healed. Never mind. You won't. There he is.
Yeah, he said, but I want to do Goofy deserves it. Either way, I don't think it worked. He apparently it was too late. Which
that is the judge has stepped in and said, hey, you passed your turn. You can't do it. Even though you were fully prepared to use that Popsicle to heal that super goof. Maybe that's the rookie webcam mistakes showing up for J-Bomb coming in as that first round draft pick. Got some of those rookie jitters there. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, I found out like in Morocco, the Morocco Pavilion Epcot, that the people who make the tiles will make 1 tile wrong because it's like a sign to ingratiate yourself to God that nothing's perfect, only God is perfect. So I'll make 1 mistake on the tile. So I think they're both doing a sacrificial, like I'm gonna make a little mistake because we're both human. That's my theory. Is they both had to do 1 on the house. You don't want to show off too much.
I got you. I can understand that, but it looks like we're going to get Smee on into the library. Smee can trade with this super goof that will give you a +1 in the process.
Yeah, so double hurts.
Yeah, now because you could have had that Popsicle to heal to protect that goof and prevent that play from taking place. However, you got to shake it off. Short-term memory, as we're going to get 2 for a double Diabloing. We're going to find themselves onto the field of play, and one of them will be in the library. The other will be standing at home alone.
Yeah, it's I was gonna say Diablo, but that doesn't really work. It's
that's pretty good.
Diab duo. But yeah, I feel like it is hard. At least both the players have made a mistake. We're like, if I didn't do that one thing, but I think luckily they're both on their way to, neither of them have made a critical error. To be fair, Bro Hamilton's was last game, so he doesn't have to worry about it.
And you have a lot of game left, as you will put that Maui up exerted. So if you want it, you're going to miss 2 lore, but you could get 4 cards here. Is that something you would do, Katie? 4 cards versus 3 versus 2 lore.
What is this math we're doing here? Okay. So
if you put both of the double Dablo,
and then do like make them.
Yes. If you put them both into the biblioteca. So
Yes.
Dabloteca. Double Dablo. I lost it.
I think Duablo, but you're right.
Duab-
My husband calls them, I'm going to explode my bird into your Maui. And I just imagine them going, because like it doesn't do any damage and their feathers just, and all of that just to draw a card. So now I'm caught up. And yeah, I mean, I think it depends what he has in his hand, but I think it's critical that he keeps afloat and has answers, because any moment he can just say, be prepared. And it's hard to come back.
And we will elect to go ahead and bring the genie out, keeping that tempo alive and well. You still have an ink opportunity, I believe. So you still can go Dubablo, and you will not. Never mind. You'll just go quest. You want the lore.
Yeah, and I guess at this point he as far as in his hand, it looks like he has 1 to 2, but then sometimes people they move in and there's like 30 cards, and I'm completely wrong. But either way, he's gonna get some cards. Those Diablos eventually will have to be dealt with. The library is probably not gonna make it much longer, unfortunately. But he's got some insurance here that more cards are on the way.
For
at
sure.
least 2.
And you'll get at least 2. I think Brohampton made the correct play. Just try to get really aggressive and get exerted, get the lore while you can, and then force this Maui to start just clubbing away at the library or coming after these birds. Clearing these Diablos, I think, is also quite important. So I think I like the choice, and you will get your cards. Maybe not how you wanted them. You'll have to get a little delayed investment, but I think Greed would have taken over now to try to just get 4 more cards, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of one of those things where, like you said, it would be 4 if he did it himself, and now he gets 2. So he's like, it's not a complete loss. 50%, that's not. It is a failing grade, but it's still 2 cards. But I don't know. I'm looking here at J-Bomb, and when I see a board state like this, I go, you have nothing to lose. I have everything to lose. So he could run into this Maui, be prepared, and J-Bomb feels no pain except for he'll miss Maui a little bit. But we are sitting not this turn, so no matter what, he has to kind of keep the pressure on just one more turn, because if he hits be prep next turn, he could come back. It's just going to be a long journey.
And I don't think he's inked yet. I think he's still owed an ink opportunity, or I might be mistaken. You did hit the how far I'll go. You did clear the library there, so you still got quite a few cards in hand. I think you're okay if you can manage to get the be prepared played next turn. If Pete comes down here, it might be troublesome Pete on 3 after a nice hearty quest with all Glimmies here going for a 4-piece.
Glimmy's going for a 4-piece.
Glimmy's for a 4-piece.
I like that very, very much.
That's a 5-piece actually. Oh, the Chernobog is going to get popped.
Wow.
If we play Pete here, games referee, you might be in trouble there,
Exactly.
J-Bomb. And there he is, right on time.
Pete said, I'm so sorry. I am on the list. Also, if you get rid of my birds, that's 3 cards, but you're not going to get rid of it with any kind of action. Now, I am looking. I'm like, is there any giant friendly dragons? That could be. I don't think
you have enough inkability is going to be an issue there.
That is a problem. Yeah. All right. Math's never been my strong suit here.
You might be some ink troubles, as it looks like you're going to get the Tipo down. What's the plan? You need another Maui, another shark.
Patience.
I don't know if that's enough.
He says, you know what? I have patience, and I've got a pirate's life in my hand. I got something where I'm not worried, because we see he gets rid of that bird, gets a draw card, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on board. So he's like, listen, all I need to do is just wait one more turn and I can really bring the pain. So I think if there's a pirate's life, tempo can change, or not pirate's life. Well, to be fair,
life would be good
pirate's
too.
life and be prepared. We could do all sorts of things that would hurt very badly.
And even some Shishu can come in next turn. So this just opens some more things up. Are you skilled enough to get another Pete going? I still think you need to get them Glimmies moving and get them bad boys exerted. You did dox your deck a bit, revealing that you do not have access to the Merlin Goat, so there won't be any bounce shenanigans taking place. Maybe you can bounce shenanigans this Pete and get him back deployed yet again. If you have the skills to do that, I think that'd be a dynamic heads up play.
So we see the first step of, 1. Well, that's something. And then is he going to bounce that P? No, Merlin Rabbit, the rabbit that started it all. But either way, he is getting some cards. Now, notably looking at his list, I mean, we're at the, halfway point of game 2. He says, I don't really want any of that lore gain effect. He has a very, normally you're like Honey Bear and White Rose and a goat. And in this case, he's like, I don't want any of that. So
Bro, Hamilton might there's a world he's playing the fairest Lorcana deck in the history of the game. Like there
yes.
is no frills. He's going all fair across the board. There's no reach. There's none of the broken degenerate stuff. There's no cobras, no goats.
He's like,
Pretty cool.
listen, I absolutely would never take lore unless I earn it.
The hard way,
but
yeah.
yeah. Now we're gonna see. I mean, has he officially passed his turn, or is he still?
I think we're still contemplating there as you're pondering deeply on what the next thing is. I think you got to pass that box. I believe you're all inked out and you're all exerted. There's really no more legal maneuvers you can make here unless I'm missing something. Just trying to gain some information. I think be prepared here still isn't that bad. Pirate's Life, you got a combination of things you can do, like a Pirate's Life, get back Pirate's Life, seeing Pirate's Life kind of thing, whatever. I don't think you have the ink to do that either. So interesting turns.
It is. Yeah, we see some audits now. J-Bomb is notably a CPA, so he is accounting. He's looking at his ink, checking it twice. And we see him first start with a little bit of a Pirate's Life and say, let's rewind the clock. Remember when you were at 16? I like that. And then he gains a lower here. Now, notably, he could sing a Be Prepared off of that shark. Did I do that right?
You cannot. No,
why? Why? Like, why?
Because shark costs 6.
Yep, that would
Be
be
Prepared costs 7.
And I
that would be really cool though if he could.
I have never played shark because I've just been hurt by it. I have shark blindness. I can't tell if it's evasive. So thank you for showing it on the screen, Luke, because my gosh. But either way, you can stop him from getting, looks like he got that Pirate's Life back. So
for sure. So now this is actually a really, really sticky spot for J-Bomb and for Bro Hamilton, who still has that rabbit set up. So he will be able to sing Zeus. I think if you don't clear this shark next turn via Zeus, I think you may not have what it takes to win this round. I think it might crawl away from you. This shark can keep doing its thing and keep looping this Pirate's Life. I don't think there's a path to victory there unless you can do some more Pete jujitsu. So interesting turn here coming in for J-Bomb or for Brohampton. It's going to be very important, but it still seems like the green box is around Brohampton's side as J-Bomb is going to heal.
Yeah, it's now he's like, you're going to use my popsicle. I always feel like after I make a mistake, like even if I'm at home, sometimes my husband's like, you can take it back. I was like, no, I need to sit with this. I need to. And honestly, my mistakes are some of the best ways to learn. So in this case, he does heal on up that Maui, pop that popsicle, which could mean he's prepping for a Tamatoa to come down later. Instead, he goes ahead and inks a McDuck Manor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I think you had to heal that Maui there just because you didn't want to get crabbed for everything with one of these Diablos and clear that Maui because so I think it was pretty heads up clear. And this rabbit, if the rabbit is doing anything except singing Zeus right here, I don't think you care too much if you're J-Bomb. Your opponent's not playing GOAT. They can quest up to 19 right now, which is pretty scary. But with no GOAT, you don't care as much. Interesting. What do you think about GOAT? I'm not cutting it.
It's kind of like when there's that phase where people are like, I don't need Be Prepared anymore. And then we watch 5,000 instances where Be Prepared would be very, very helpful. It's kind of the same for me where I'm at Bro Hamilton's going, be really nice right now. A little goat.
Like, yeah. Imagine if this freaking Merlin rabbit was a goat right now. You'd be so back. You'd be so crushing right now. As we're going to go Zeus. We're paying the troll toll for a Zeus, though. Full value Zeusing coming out. Probably trying to keep these bodies up as you will quest for 19. No GOAT to be had. Interesting. So this could be all you needed to turn this thing back around.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a journey because, the Pirates now becomes a little bit more tricky because he would have to pay out of pocket for it. But that being said, even if you don't, he has to deal with a few things. And the fact that Maui just turned sideways, making you think he's in pre-prep town. There's not really a lot of other ways you can get out of this situation.
But that is a gnarliest B prep I've ever seen. That's a +2, +3, +4 B prep. What is that? Because you're losing the Maui, you're losing the B prep, and your opponent's gaining 3 additional cards. Someone do the card economy math on that one, but that is
J-Bomb will report back. He will hold out his spreadsheet in Abacus and say it was bad. I didn't like it. But it's so yeah. Bro Hamilton goes, well, can you do it again? Because he's gonna have to, because he's about to spit out some more cards here and give J-Bomb a new problem to deal with another one to sing.
But now you are kind of rolling yourself into this Sisu territory. And if you can put out, say, a bunch of 2 strength characters, Genie, Chernobog, or something like that, Genie, Chernobog, Broom, Sisu can come in, blast that, and you're kind of right back in. You need a bunch of Smees here. This is where a Calhoun would actually be quite good, or something that can withstand a Sisuing as you're exerting 3. Never mind, you're going full 4 here, and it's going to be that Genie. Genie, you got to get the Sisu now.
Yeah, Sisu, get out. Which I mean, honestly, would be nice too because he needs.
Ooh.
Oh, now he needs Sisu and step and prepare for the house.
But now it's gonna be. We still have some options here. You have a few. I don't know what the outs are, but it's gonna start with be prepared. There it is.
While we're here, be prepared for the table. Now this time no card draw, so that's the good news. Genie is just on the way in, which is why sometimes people run Rabbit or Genie and vice versa. But he has to do the few more tricks. But we still know he has a Pirate's Life in his hand. So once he can get Brohemi to stop playing freaking cards, maybe he can do something here.
Okay. And you never sang, Katie. You didn't get your be prepared in there. I think.
Oh, that's true. I know. Well, now it's just. I mean. Okay, we'll do it. If he does the 3rd one, I'll for sure hit it. I'll hit it as hard, the hardest ever. I was too busy.
If he hits a 3rd one here, you got to go crazy. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. I mean, to be fair, he is running. I don't know. There's not a lot of cool things you can do other than get rid of him again.
Yeah, I think you might have to hard cast a Pirate's Life just to survive. It appears just to take your opponent down to 2. They'll go down to 17 and quest back up to 19. I think that might be your only line of play if you don't got another be prepared. Let's see if we do it. That's miserable. I hate to see it. Yuck, man.
Yeah. He's accounting again. We see here, carry the 4 at a pivot table, and it looks like we're going to McDuck Manor Inc.
Inking the McDuck Manor, paying, and we got another one. Katie, take it away.
Be prepared.
That was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good.
It's really scary. I thought we were gonna play Sisu or something, but either way, instead we want to be prepared. And now, okay, we're done. Okay.
And now Brohampton's got to kind of be stunned after that. You've built 2 massive boards with over Sisu-able characters in back-to-back turns, and your opponent has had all of the be prepared that they could have imagined. So here we go. We got Rabbit coming in. You have another character. Smee will be wonderful here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is just put bodies on it at this point. He's like, guess what? Sisu, never heard of her, at least for this crab. Now, notably, J-Bomb is paying everything out of pocket. He is at 12 ink, so I mean, he can definitely Pirate's Life for 6 and then do some other cool stuff. But instead, he's going to go ahead, opt for the, shark, and then a Pirate's Life, which makes sense because he gets a little lore gain here. It's an added benefit. Yeah, and it kind of
and now your opponent can't quest. They put them in an odd spot because if you do exert one of these characters, they can then get the Pirate's Life back again. But I think you open yourself up for another Zeusing, and another Zeus here might just break the game wide open if you got it. And we're singing it this time, not electing not to hard cast, electing to sing the Zeus. And now you need to build a pretty robust board. I think that might have been the time to hard cast a Zeus and get those 2 lore going, but we're going to bounce Rabbit back to hand either way, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, so I mean, that was a really great way out of that little situation, because I mean, obviously Zeus did a lot of heavy lifting there, but I mean, J-Bomb keeps having to recover, while Brohampton just slowly crawls his way back. And looking at his deck list, looking at any deck list, he doesn't have infinite Pirate's Life or be prepared. That's just not how it works. And without that shark, he scooped. He said, "I'm done."
We're bought our bus ticket over to the Scoopville population. Yeah. Maybe that's an outline under Wichita. It's probably not Wichita. It's probably Scoop City right there.
Yeah, take a drop of Scoop City. And is that an angel with an axe?
I think it might be,
because it looks like she's like about. We'll see.
Or it might be a native person there with a headdress.
That makes more sense. An angel with an axe was a lot more intense, but I was, what can you do?
Now I can't not see Angel, Katie. I can't
I do see it's like a Valkyrie. I was seeing a Valkyrie situation.
I can't not see Angel. Can't not see Valkyrie now.
But
that is a very interesting mat. Can we just discuss this mat for a moment there? What's happening here?
I'm moving on.
We can't move on. You got to live in this.
I mean, it's a lot because it's like it just says Kansas City, Wichita, or Kansas, Wichita, whatever.
Wichita, Kansas, 2025.
No,
And then it goes
unspecified where in
down,
2025.
and then it goes down to a city line, a skyline there, and then it goes over. I mean, is that the skyline of Kansas? Is that downtown Wichita?
It could be.
Skyline?
It's more impressive than Omaha. So I mean, honestly, and Wichita is not the capital, but I am getting it is a keeper of the Plains Indigenous person. So I'm guessing it's some kind of charity, and that's cool. And I am sorry, I thought it was an angel with an axe, and I just it's kind of like when you look at it, when you ever go to the subreddit, what is this cookie cutter? That's what I went through just now. Is I looked at the outline and was like. And sometimes you swing and you guess, and you get the axe part right.
Shout out to One Drop Games out there in Wichita. And
that's a shop. That's so cool.
One Drop Game Shop. Don't stop. Make it pop. DJ turn this because of tonight. Sorry, that just kind of took over me there.
One Drop Game Shop.
There you go. And it looks like J-Bomb is going to be on the play, I believe, for the first time in forever, as it looks like you had a pretty good turn set up for yourself in that previous game. But Brohampton just kind of came out, hit the gas pedal, and just got to the absolute Dublinsky that time. So what do you want to see here from J-Bomb to kind of turn the tides of battle again?
I mean, he doesn't have to do much other than just keep that tempo down. I mean, we didn't see him play a brawl. We didn't get to see him use the power of a Sisu on a board full of little weenies. So, as we know, he would like to weenies. He keeps one in his pocket. I'm going to be honest, guys. It's been a day in my brain. If I sound like I'm on a delay, I am a little bit, but either way, I do think I think the way he started has been fine. I think he's like, I've just got to do it again and just do it harder. And hopefully not get Zeused, or maybe get one of those Sisus out to just really rub it in. And because the be prepared is obviously not ideal. You'd want to do a Sisu if you could, especially against his kind of deck.
For sure. Getting a Sisu up, even a Sisu as a 5/4 quest for 3, I don't think is the worst card in the universe. You will force your opponent to engage in combat versus a Sisu after it can get some plus value, hopefully. But it seems as the way Brohampton has constructed this deck, it seems as if it's a lot of he's got a lot of Diablos in there, he's got a lot of rabbits in there, so those can be quite Sisu proof, as we saw demonstrated in that previous game. Be prepared, repairing your opponent's hand, as Bannable says that was a +2 tempo swing card economy game. I can't play it.
Oh my goodness. In fact, when you started saying this is a fair deck, I'm like, no, don't do that. That's where my brain breaks. When someone's like, is this fair or unfair? I'm like, well, I mean, the rules say you can do it, so that's fair, right? It breaks me. But either way, we do see he did it once, he'll do it again. It's a turnabout, why not? So it's really what he wants to do is beginning of the game is he's either gonna get a card with Chernobog or Broom or Diablo, but either way, that's his goal, and he's started off on the right path, as is J-Bomb, who we see go ahead, Inca Visions, and use it to sail probably, or Tipo, why not?
Tipo. I think Tipo might be a little bit preferred here to encourage that Chernobog to get off the board early, and if he does allow it to leave up, maybe he can just challenge down with the Tipo. I think I'll take that trade if I'm the Ruby Sapphire player. I'm not sure. I don't know if if that's correct or not.
There's nothing that cool you could do with a Tipo other than get rid of one. Like Tipo, his purpose is done the minute he's been played. He has served his purpose. So honestly, if I can crush somebody's dreams with the Tipo, I'm doing it. Because otherwise, he's just gonna quest, be a little guy.
Just a little guy. He's done his job. This is what Tipo is kind of like. I don't know if you watch a lot of baseball. Probably not. I don't think anyone watches baseball, but he's kind of like a closing pitcher, I guess, or like a relief pitcher. He comes in, throws like 2 pitches, and gets the H out of there, dude. You're done. So that's why he did everything you need him to do, and now you can just get rid of him. So we are thinking about popping this Chernobog with the 2 lore characters set up. I think it might be worth popping it here. You're not afraid of Super Goof. Thoughts on Super Goof here?
I mean, he got super goofed once, so but as we know, it's statistically unlikely he get goofed again. Either way, we have this little toddler baby that could possibly toddler over. So I think either way, he's going to see something painful happen to the Chernobog, and he's accepted it due to whatever he has in his hand, and just knowing that those Diablos are probably going to get him 2 cards at some point. Just has
we are going 4, and it's the grandma. It is not the goof. Okay, so grandma checks 2, sends 1, and now the Tipo can go ahead and probably go 1-on-1 with this Chernobog, and then that will free these Diablos up to wear some crabs for dinner over to grandma's house. I can see how this whole thing is lining up.
As Vanderbilt said, nobody goofs him twice. Goofed me once, shame on you. Goofed me twice. Anyway, that's killing me. And we are gonna, goof me twice, dude. Oh man,
I've been goofed. I done goofed.
You've
Is what I
done
say
goofed this time.
every time I get goofed. I done goofed. That's what I say to my opponent. They get a good laugh. I laugh. We all laugh. I cry inside.
Yeah. You're like, oh, because he does. I think honestly, Goofy's character is he's doing.
Well, I guess I hooked up there. Oh
yeah.
boy, I guess I got goofed. I say that every time. That's my one joke that I got to get off. If someone's goofing me, you're hearing that coming.
I just want to know, like, if you were at Delta, they're like, "Sir, we lost your bag." You say, "Oh, yeah." Like, this is what I'm imagining. You're at the airline counter. They're like, "Sir, please don't do that. We're gonna call security."
It seems as if somebody done goofed up. Where's my bags?
You got me hooked up right now. Anyway, so we see Pete come in and say, "Whatever you were thinking about doing with your 5 ink next turn, don't you dare do it. You're not sailing. You're not how far in with that grandma. Just don't." Which it makes me believe he has another. Yeah, and it makes me believe he has a second Pete somewhere because, or he's going to bounce it. Because either way, that Pete is so valuable in this matchup, knowing that the Sharknado just eats those actions up.
Mm-hmm. And Grandma Tala not seeing how far I'll go here on this turn is a little vital as Popsicle comes in. So you're also not able to play Maui and clear this other Diablo. So that could kind of come back to haunt you when this crusty crustacean comes on in. An old wizard man shape-shifting into a crab, powering up this Diablo. It might blast you here. Let's see if that's what happens.
Yeah, and is Grandma scared? I don't know. I mean, he's going to go ahead here and put down inking a... He's doing some very interesting things with his inks that has really broken my brain a little bit, but he played that manner. Okay, so he didn't ink the manner, he played the manner. So yeah, so I mean, it's kind of like you have a problem too, buddy, because I mean, that manner is going to be a huge drain. Notably, Diablo's not doing anything to that manner.
For sure.
Flying over it peacefully and doing no damage, but we'll kind of see what he does there, because now it's kind of Grandma would be nice to get rid of, but that manner is a problem.
I would concur vigorously, but double Calhoun is coming out. Calhoun. I'm not going to do it.
I'm begging you not to challenge my grandma.
That's pretty good. I knew you had it.
I got you. You set it up.
And we'll work on it. We'll shop it around. That's a little shop of horrors we got. And the library, or excuse me, the manor does go for a nice little calm too, as now this grandma's got a ability to sing a song. This time he feels so inclined. But are you singing into the face of these double Calhouns? You do have enough power on board to clear this manor in one fatal swoop next turn, but it will stop your lore gain. And I think that helps J-Bomb taking the turn off from questing.
It does. And I mean, the fact that he kept that Pete upright, I mean, telegraphs that he's saving up. He's saving up for some manor teardown. So it's, I don't know. It's kind of just as vulnerable if he puts all that in. Grandma's coming for one of those Calhoun. Oh, he hasn't even finished. He's just saying to let it go, which probably doesn't feel super peachy, but you
could probably go for a shark here, but your adversary is probably hanging on to Zeus, and Zeus being such a clean answer to shark just makes it so not great against these steel decks. Because if you're playing steel, you're probably playing Zeus in this meta steel, I believe. Steel. Sorry, I'm working it.
I'm steel here,
and it's a steel card. They really did something good there with the I'm Steel here as being steel. I saw what they did. I liked what they did, and I enjoy the fact that somebody's up there is funny. Somebody gets it.
Game recognizes game there,
Mm-hmm.
My husband said, well, imagine if you were on a boat and you saw a giant wave with yourself as a baby. And I said, that would be crazy. So notable about that card is, I haven't seen that movie, so maybe it makes more sense if you've seen it.
You've never seen Treasure Planet?
No, I'm saving it. So we do see a shark come down. I'm saving it for a date. I think it's good,
Insane.
Okay. We can talk about it like on the post show or something, but I just think you have to be mentally ready to watch a Disney movie that's beloved by others, because if you do not receive it well, people are going to light you up in the comments.
The movie did perform quite terribly in the box office, and the movie, I would say, I wouldn't put up there as like a cult classic. Like, it's a cult classic, but it's not the
I
best
think
movie
it's like
ever made.
Atlantis. Like it's like Atlantis, where
It's exactly like Atlantis.
If it
Same
was
tier.
on, if you bonded with it, it's on your soul. Like
Yeah.
you bonded with it deeply.
Yeah, it's there. It's literally Atlantis. As
So
as
oh,
it looks like we're checking the discard pile.
see what I got in there. Because at
Hamilton
this
duel.
point, yeah, he has to do that math of like, how bad is it? How bad would it be if one of these shark bit me? And the answer is not good. Any actions, not, you don't want him to really get any of those if he can. Which, one of the tech cards that we're not going to see in this matchup, but that I always think is kind of cheeky, is the queen that comes in and she's like, I'm going to hide your stuff, shark. Good luck. Good luck getting it here in your deck. I really like that tech card, but she's kind of rough because she has to survive a whole turn, which is quite asking a lot for any card in this game.
They should have gave that card War. And I say that a lot. Maybe they could have made her blue and gave her War. There you go.
But she's never going to get to do it the next turn. Like, it's
I
kind of
know.
like Ursula. Like, Ursula, to be fair, I'm glad she doesn't have Ward.
For sure.
But Ursula, like, it's on site. Every deck is like,
That's one of my hottest takes. I don't have too many hot takes. I have some hot takes, but that is one of my hottest takes, is that the new queen, whatever her government name is there, I think she should have had Ward.
I don't think it's just the queen. I think it's the evil queen. So Miss Queen.
It can't
evil?
be queen, evil queen of queen. It cannot be her name.
Queen, the evil queen. Good thing we have this tool. I will use it. I have been given access to proprietary technology shared, and her name is the Queen. Oh boy, howdy! I can't read that.
Jealous Beauty.
Thank you.
Jealous Beauty, not Queen, the evil queen of queen. That would be a cool name. They should. It's probably like Lorcana 25 years from now. That's probably what they're going to do. Like when they start running out of things to name characters. Dang, Queen, Queenie, queen of queen. Send it.
You just sound like a British person talking about something,
whatever.
like where they live. I live in Queenie McQueen.
Queenaton, Chestershire, Dinburg.
That's another
village.
Rant I'll go on. As I was born in England, and like whenever I ask my parents like where I was born, they're like, "Oh, it's Lincoln." Well, they're not British, but they're like Lincoln Heath, and I'm like, "Is that a city?" And they're like, "It's a place." I'm like, "Well, what time?" And my birth certificate doesn't have what time I was born. And then I look at a map. It's terrible.
Lincoln, Castershire.
Oh
Can
my gosh.
you cut it out? As we're going to heal the shark.
Yeah,
that will not defend him against a Zeus, but it potentially could defend him against a potential strength of a Raging Fire. It will require Brohamington to include some more characters to the board.
Did he get an action back with that shark?
He did. He got back to how far I'll go. I
Right.
still think he probably should have cleared that peak just to break up a potential strength of a Raging Fire singer that could have come on in there. But I don't know. Maybe Calhoun was just a bigger threat, a more menacing threat. Hero Bow, perhaps you're playing around that card.
Yeah, I mean, we also have, yeah, everybody. I mean, gosh, this weekend I learned about there's a archetype called the bow archetype. I didn't know about it before this weekend. It was an archetype of one, but I did see it on your chart that there was.
I do think we did get some confirmation that shout out to Lorcana Bell. I think she just made a mistake. Okay.
Oh, it wasn't just an archetype named Bow.
There was no bow archetype.
You had us tilted. We're like, what? The new archetype of bow is here.
Dan and I both were quite stunned. I mean, certainly you would call it hero before you call it bow. I'm just saying.
I mean, to be fair, it was an archetype of one, so it could be called truly whatever that person chose to call it. But either way, hero, yeah. And she only read 97 deck lists. I'm sure it wasn't that hard.
For sure.
Shout out to Lorcana Bell, who knows more than all of us combined. Absolutely. She probably knows the answer to a question I haven't thought of yet.
Dang, I think it's 42. As we are going to go ahead and pay a full bounty for a Jenny, you're going to go out for another 4-piece. And if this Pete can sing a strength, it still isn't that good because you have another shark backing him up. So you do need to start clearing some of this garbage off the board there. If you are Brohamington, you're just going to straight up pass shark doing what they do best. Stun locking this board. All the characters are ready on the opposition side. And that frees up you to start questing or start singing Pirate's Lives here, gaining a tremendous amount of lore in the process. So good spot for J-Bomb, who's trying to seal the deal. Time check.
Yeah, 8 minutes, which I mean, he can do some pretty painful things here. Now, this being said, there is an epidemic going on where we even had one game didn't even finish. I was like, listen, we're going to go fast, but these games, this is 4-set champs. This is just a good thing to remember. No one likes going to time. It feels bad. Sometimes judges start standing next to you. And as me, I thought I was in trouble. I thought like I was about to get arrested because I was playing in a DLC and like 3 judges started standing around me. I was like, well, I'm getting escorted out for something, and the answer was no. It's just when you go to time, they do that. But
Now,
either way,
did something change? Because we haven't gone to time at all, and then
No.
like seem like the past 4 or 5 games in a row have all been either going to time or close to time. What changed?
I think Hiram. I'm just kidding. Well, yeah, everyone's like, well, I used to know how to play this deck, and then you got rid of my turn 3 Super Smasher card drawer 3000.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting to see, and it's something to note because, yeah, I mean, every game matters, and you don't. I personally, if I go to time, I'm mentally dissolved. So they're going to get together. We got 7 minutes. They're gonna.
I think they can make it. I think 7 minutes is plenty of time from this game state to get a decisive winner in this process. As it looks like J-Bomb is going to have to hit the gas pedal here to make something happen. As you are searching that discard, trying to figure out. We are in the resolution phase of a Vision of the Future. I believe is where we currently are residing. I think you just got to play them. You got to send it. You got to absolutely grip it and rip it and send it.
Get some lore. It's free lore. It's free real estate. I mean, it's kind of interesting that normally we think of Amethyst as the lore galore style deck, but no, right now between Super Goose, Sharks, I mean, he's the one that gets that free little pinging. He said, "You didn't bring your goats." Well, I brought my goats. They just look like Sharks and Goofy.
Okay. And now you have the ability to potentially play. I think you played all of your ink right now. Now you're debating on singing, questing, or nothing else. Those are the decisions. Let's see what you lean on. Ponderance.
It's all, yeah. It's not. It's just ponder. Sorry, finish your ponder.
Quiet has struck. As we ink a pop to play the pop, that always feels bad. Yeah, I got to think a little bit on before I do that. As J-Bomb has had to ink Popsicle in 2 games in a row. The rules are, if you ink Popsicle in this deck, you can't win. Let's see if J-Bomb can break that threshold and make a difference in the world.
Is that a rule? See, here's the thing. This deck I avoided, but to be fair, there's so many things you hear about this deck. If you don't sail on 2, you're toast. If you don't,
I don't know.
The other one is
I don't make this up.
Manners aren't inkable, and I'm like,
you got to keep your ear to the streets. Okay, when the streets are talking, you got to listen.
It's stressful.
Okay?
I can't play a deck with this many rumors. I'd be like, is it haunted? If I say the deck 3 names twice, will it come and
appear? If you're inking Popsicles, you're gonna lose. That's just the nature. I don't know. Maybe J-Bomb can break it. He can bust it wide open. That might not apply to J-Bomb, but Bro Hamilton's gonna have to do some heavy lifting. You got double shark crab staring you down, a bunch of 6s. They have outmaneuvered your board value wise. Who has the most stuff on board? 6,
Biggie
12,
Smalls, Biggie Smalls,
18.
Biggie Smalls.
6, 12, 18 versus 4, 6, 9. Okay, so you got more stuff on your side. As it looks like requesting or singing. You got to Zeus somebody at some point, and Zeus is coming down, probably taking one of these sharks out.
And this is what makes this deck so notable is between Crab, Tamatoa, and Big Sisu. It's kind of like I only have so many Zeuses, and I want a Zeus for every single one of those options. And so right now we saw 3 out there, and so he's like, okay, I'll pick 1 shark, but all it takes is just another Crab, another Sisu, and suddenly it's like, okay, But in this case, he does buy a little bit of time here, but he's still kind of he's not running away with it like you would want to see. I feel like in this kind of matchup, you want to have at least a pretty sizable or at least measurable lead at some point, and he still hasn't got up on J-Bomb, and it's going to be rough.
Absolutely, but we are electing not to exert anything else. That genie is going to get clapped up by this Maui half shark. A storm or Strength of Raging Fire would have been phenomenal there. As Bro Hamilton is going to quest in the face of this shark. You don't have the Pirates, but if you have a Pirate's Life here, you're going to be on your way, I think, as the crab can sing it and then the shark can get it back. But still, this board is beefy. Oh, never mind. You played Pete, so that Pete is fresh and active on the field of play over there to the far right. So you won't be able to get a Pirate's Life going here, but you can clear some characters.
Yeah. So he, I mean, and the Pete's kind of interesting because I mean, I don't know at this point. Bouncing Pete next turn would be nice. I mean, we know that J-Bomb is probably going to avoid. Be prepared. Oh yeah, yeah. There it is. It's him. You love him. It's Mufasa, the Good King, and I will read it because I always forget what this card does. This one is maybe I won't actually. No.
Mufasa. He's the one that once you play it, you have to send 2 ink from your inkwell back to your hand, and then whenever you quest, you can ready your entire inkwell. So the card is very powerful. It is borderline unplayable because it's uninkable 8. Yeah, I have all the cards memorized, Katie. You gotta memorize them.
Gotta memorize them. Here's the thing. Sapphire always reads like a contract. So I always get a little scared here. But yeah, this is a pretty menacing play because now we're like, okay, well, do you have like how many Zeuses do you have? Like 8? Because you're gonna need like 8 right now.
You're gonna need, and Mufasa is a 4/9.
Yeah.
So that is a 9. He quests for 4.
Yeah.
So forget everything I said about the popsicle because Mufasa can get the popsicles back, maybe if you get it added back to your hand. So that 4/9 is gonna run right through these Zeuses as we are clearing this board up. If I am Bro Hamilton, I am absolutely shaking in my boots. You got the king of Pride Rock on the field of play, staring you down, questing for 4, resetting the lore. Oh, resetting the ink in the process. This might be demise. He doesn't care about those beats either.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically saying, I'll give you all problems. And I know for a fact you don't have to be prepared. So we're having to get to sit in a world where he knows that that's an emergency button J-Bomb doesn't want to press, but he also has to live in a world where it's all bad. It's all bad. And none of these characters on the board draw cards or do really anything other than maybe they can remove one thing if they work together. So we'll just draw some cards. Try to find an answer.
Just try to hope, man. You got to start hope. You never give up hope. What are the outs? What do you think? Are there outs to get through this 9-piece? I guess strength is a good start. You will be able to clear the Maui half shark, which I think still might be the biggest threat on the board.
Yeah,
never mind. It's always going to be that Mufasa.
And that peak now can go ahead and get rid of the crab if you want, if you so choose it. So, Mufasa by himself is, not with a crab right there. Now J-Bomb needs to do something to get rid of that.
Yeah. I think, this is manageable. But it would cost your entire board. No, check that. You could probably, you lose the crab who can buff the Pete, and then you can Pete back into the Mufasa and clear it. So you can take this thing off. However, you're going to have a pretty dynamic turn here coming up. Sorry, go ahead, Katie.
I mean, did you just see the clock? We're in the yellow zone.
Oh.
Can all of this be done what you're describing in 7 turns?
No. I think this will be going to time. Let's see it. As the brain will be developed. Got to play with some speed here. And let's see what else we can do. You got to use all this ink, and then you can refresh. That's the cool thing about the Mufasa. You got to blow all your ink first, and then you have to have the cards to blow it all again. And you got to re-ready. Sisu is not doing much.
No, I mean, certainly changing the math a bit and at least making it where J-Bomb has a chance if he can keep this Mufasa, which like he did in the math. I mean, that would cost him, like you said, his entire board at this point. He does get the 3 lore off of him, and that Sisu then is another problem to deal with. And I don't know how many cards he has in hand. Enough where he's doing that little. Ooh, this is gonna be rough now. He might have a chance to win in the 7 or 5 turns.
This might be a chance. I think J-Bomb is trying to set up a position to win, whereas I think Bro Hamilton just has to play to not lose the game. You're going to need a series of Zeus, more Zeus you can carry. I think you will have to exchange your board for this Mufasa because you can't let him continue to quest freely like this, or you definitely won't win. So I expect to see a crab Pete shenanigans here, unless you got some type of fox shenanigans as well. Any type of crab involved shenanigans is going to be required in this particular spot. If you had a bounce to get the crab back, I think you're still going to need both. I don't know. Maybe you might need that crab to take out the rest of these Sisus on the following turns. But we have to hit the gas pedal. We are now in time, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, this game, we're making the judges know every single thing. They're like, hey, what happens if there's a card that's not supposed to be there? Okay, what happens if we go to time? So shout out to our judges who are literally, they just do this because they like rules and they're great people. So shout out. We got Ellie, we got Phil. I think those are our 2 in-house judges tonight, and they're the greatest. So now they're saying time to go, and I think we do 5 turns. We might have done 7 once, so I'm gonna see here but it'll always be up there in that little red box. Oh, Kevin's the judge tonight. So Ellie and Phil are just there, and they're just hanging out.
Oh, okay.
They're just hanging out in the judges' headspace because they care that much. So Kevin is so good job to Kevin, and good job for Ellie, and
shout out to Kevin. I met Kevin down at the Lucky Llama. If that's the same Kevin, I think that's the Kevin that I met. And you do have the Zeus, and that's going to be able to clear one of those Sisu. So crab, charge up the Pete, take down the Mufasa, hard cast the Zeus, clear. That will be your turn. So you were going to give up 3. This could be the turning point for J-Bomb. There are paths to victory for you to get to the Dublinsky here. You just have to keep adding more threats onto the board as your quest for 3 with the Shisu. Oh my goodness. Next turn. You're at 12 now. J-Bomb needs to update.
Yeah, 12. And then if he can do any kind of action that can get him to 13. So I think it should be lovingly. I don't think we can call it Sharknado because I'm sure somebody has the rights to that. But I mean, basically, he has the potential to do a lot of things. Now, it would be nice if he could feed that shark. So Hamilton notably is not going to feed the shark today, but he could still get that lore from action and even questing next turn if he wanted to, because he needs to get that 9. Or I guess he's not at 9. He's at 12 secretly, right? Or yeah, he needs to get that up to 20.
It should be at 12 right now.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, it should be at 12, and then.
Have you seen that film, Sharknado?
I have not, because I don't know what kind of day I'd be having to watch that. He does play the brawl just for a ping. He literally says, "I just want to go to 13." Sorry, back to Sharknado.
A couple of things that I don't like a lot of things, Katie. I like most things. Brawling, nothing. I think it's one of the things I don't like. Also, I didn't like Sharknado very much. Okay, but it is a masterpiece. I encourage you all to watch it, as we are going to blast 2 more characters onto the board. I don't know what the turns are here.
Yeah, we don't know what the turns are. I think one was started on J-Bomb. This is either 2 or 3, depending on how we started. Which let me look and see. I
just let them rock out, and then whenever they stop playing, then the game is over.
That's a really good point. Once they stop playing, we have nothing to talk about anymore.
Yeah. As we are going to send the Shadow Finder into the Shisu, and we'll quest
just to send a message.
Excuse me. And we got Pirate Type, and that's GG.
Yeah,
out of there.
So J-Bombs was playing very decisively because he knew.
He had it all along. It was J-Bomb all along. The Rookie of the Year comes in, first round draft pick, takes out Bro Hamilton. All right, we're hopping on over to the Discord, and we're going to talk to these players and get to know them.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's happening?
Are you guys? I'm so sorry. You're doing a really cool outro. I got so excited. Oh my goodness! Can you guys hear us? I'm just so excited to talk to you guys about how that match went.
How are you?
Good. I didn't expect that, but yes. So, congratulations, J-Bomb. I hope you're cracking a pocket dog as we speak. But that was quite the end there. You were playing pretty decisive. Did you see the writing on the wall with your hand that you're like, okay, I can do this in 5 turns? And how did those last 5 turns, or I guess 3, go for you?
Yeah, so once there was 5 minutes in the round, there was a world where I didn't want to quest with Mufasa because he could just kill on board and I could just trade, live, and then get the quest for the Sisu then. But because of time, I had to just play to my outs. And so my hand was Brawl, A Pirate's Life, Double Sisu. And so I counted it out to get to exactly 20 and 5 turns if he had an answer to one of the Sisus. And so that's kind of why I took like 3 minutes on that turn, as I was going through every single lore of count there.
Yeah, I mean, on the flip side, for Hamilton, you only have so many ways to deal with these giant behemoths of problems on the other side. So, I mean, you were finding answers, but kind of explain a little bit about how it felt on the other side, knowing that you had giant problem after giant problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't drawing as much as I should have been. So I kind of just ran out of resources there at the end too.
For sure. It does happen, man. It does happen. But we noticed your deck, and I didn't mention this. We're coming over to you, Bro Hamilton, again. Sorry it didn't work out for you. You did go down there, but we noticed that your deck was super fair. I didn't think you had any brokenness, no goats, no cobras, no any of that kind of stuff that this deck is known for in favor of this more super mid-range version. Can you just talk about that? What made you build this deck this way, and how does it typically work? Because this is way different than the deck you showed me down at the Lucky Llama.
Right, yeah, so down at the Lucky Llama, I was playing like just a super aggro burn list, right? Mm-hmm. And while it was good, I did realize that if my opponent is playing Diablos, I don't have outs to Diablos. So I mean, like that was kind of why, like, I changed the deck up quite a bit since you've seen it last time. But I mean, the thing that really bit me in the rear end in this match was, for whatever reason, my Dreamborn didn't update with rabbits instead of goats, so it caused the game 1 match loss, or the game loss in round 1. So I mean, like that'd be just super annoying. But yeah.
For sure,
So
man. I mean, those things do happen, man. I'm sure you're going to kick yourself about it, but just know that you're a human, man, and everyone's going to make some mistakes from time to time. But still, we thought the deck. It seemed like it was doing what you wanted to do. Like you said, you kind of did
right.
run out of card draw there, and I don't want to go play by play over all the things that we saw or whatever. But I still thought the deck was quite great. But we're going to kick it over to J Bomb, who is here, who just joined the squad. How did that happen? I was so surprised to see your face be featured on the 20 Lore Pro squad there. Can you just talk about that? Are you 20 Lore for life? Are you just the free agent rookie of the year coming out, the
No,
rookie sensation, undefeated, never lost?
I'm a big fan of 20 Lore. Been there for a while, and so someone canceled, and they called my number, and I said I could do it, and I panicked because I had 15 minutes to submit a deck list. So I called my buddy Bobby McHugh to see if he could make it for me on Dreamborn because I was in a work meeting at the time, and so he saved me there, and I was able to submit it on time. But yeah, sometimes you're just at the right place, right time, and happy to help the group out.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Came in.
definitely.
Sorry, go ahead, Katie.
Well, I mean, you said, I don't know if you know this, you'll watch it back, I'm sure, J Bums, and JDZ said you could legally not win because you inked a popsicle. So you broke some kind of ancient curse, and that's so beautiful to see in front of us like that.
Yeah, I opened with 3 B preps, game 1 and 2, after mulliganing 7 and 6. So I had to just ink what I had to ink in game 2 to survive. So I just kept ripping popsicles off the top and just inking them because that was my only ink for the turn.
Oh man, I hate when that happens. But you did break the ancient curse by revealing you had Mufasa in the deck all along. Can you talk about that card? And do you think it's good enough to be played? Because I enjoyed the way he came out and kind of turned that game right on its head.
Yeah, he did exactly what I wanted him to do. He's the only reason I was able to win that game in game 3. He's one of those cards that if you have the board, so if on the games on the play there where I could just like ink up and control the board, he comes out and he's very tough to answer because I'm already developing. I think I already had 2 sharks going and then into Mufasa. So I slowed down a little turn there with visions instead of going hard there. Is I took the Mufasa and that cost me actually 1 extra popsicle because I could have played popsicle, broke 2 and Tamatoa'd, but I wanted to make sure I could Mufasa next turn because we were so close to time. And so I could have rolled the dice and played the popsicle, but after my first 2 games where I had 3 B preps in my opening hand, if I drew an uninkable, I just lose the game on the spot because then I can't play the Tamatoa. So to answer your question, Mufasa is there just for some fun board states and some explosive turns like that double CC you saw.
Absolutely. And I thought it worked out. I thought it worked out quite great. And I do like to see you out here playing, man, mixing it up and getting your game on a little bit more. I was pleasantly surprised to see you out here in the ICL representing 20 Lore. So finishing the season off strong. Your number was called and you represented yourself very well. Kate, is there anything else you want to ask before you wrap up this round number 1 of the ICL?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we can go ahead and do some shout outs where you guys say, shout out to sunflowers. We talked about that we like them. So, we'll start with you on Brookhampton side. Who would you like to shout out today?
Definitely shout out my team. They're absolutely amazing. I'd also like to, definitely shout out my wife. She's taking care of the kids tonight while I'm over here, playing card games.
Well, Lyco's, she's a fan of the show, friend of the show. So, we like her. So she won. She's always a winner in our book. So as a shout out, we all can shout out her. But we'll move over to you, J-Bob. Anybody you'd like to shout out or say?
Yep, I already shouted out Bobby for doing my Dreamborn, but I'll do it again. I'd also like to thank 20 Lore for calling my number and bringing me up to the big leagues. That was very exciting. I love playing. I love playing in this tournament, so it was very exciting. And then also to thank World Class Cards, who sponsors my Alter Academy show weekly on Mondays, which has a new episode every Monday. So if you want to learn how to alter your hands and not have to do mulligan 6 or 7 cards every game, check out Alter Academy on Mondays, every Monday at 1:30 p.m. Central.
Very
Sounds
cool.
important. I could go.
Very
I could
cool.
use that.
I like that. I like that. Alter Academy. I did watch a few episodes of that show. It's quite good. It's quite good. I like the program. I like the production. It looks quite nice. But we don't Mulligan over here. We do Alter, and you can name the show as Alter Academy. You keep saying Mulligan. If you say it again, you're never coming back.
Yeah,
You're out of here.
unfortunately.
I said alter most of the times. I slipped up the last time there. So
Done.
We have
Never work this
trapdoors
down
underneath everyone's chairs. So,
That's it. All right.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, thank you both for your participation in the ICL. I look forward to seeing you both. But we're going to let you guys go so you can get back into your respective dojos to celebrate or commiserate with your respective organizations, man. And thank you guys for that. And we will see what's going as 20 Lord Pro is on the board first, trying to get this loss done. No more losing. We're trying to see who's going to put one into the winners bracket. I thought the match was great, Katie. I enjoyed it. A little bit of Amethyst Steel versus Ruby Sapphire to kick it off. I really, really liked it.
you might wonder, you're like, Katie, where did you go? Where did you go? Come back. Well, it looks like we might have some changes here. So I'm getting confirmation from production about what's going on for round 2. I think the casting will stay the same. But either way, we're going to go into round 2 and see some fun games. And now we know the Sunflowers. We talked them up. Now they're going to have to get that revenge. So I am excited to see that.
There we go. All right, sorry. No, I was just a little deaf in there, but I'm sorry if you said anything. I was deaf in there for a second because I was still in the I was still in the Discord. But I believe I'm going to be out of here. I think you're staying around. I think I'm going to hit the Dusty Trail. But it was always fun, Katie, as always. Hopefully, you guys go and check out Twitch. I'll be back at it again tomorrow, going live, back on the Quest World stream. So make sure you get into that and check that out, and also check me out on YouTube and on everything JDZ Quest.
Yeah.
Hopefully, guys see you there. Until
I'm
tomorrow.
so excited to see your stream back. So he's leaving. He's already said goodbye. Goodbye, JDZ.
Oh, we can hang. I missed
I
it.
got so scared. No, I was just sad because you were about to say goodbye, and I just wanted.
I was about to say goodbye.
JDZ.
I will. If it's time to stay, I will stay. If you need me to stay, I will stay.
Are we ready?
Long...
I know that I saw some production notes. All
Okay,
right.
cool.
So you can hang out with us, and we can talk about what cool new stuff can we expect on JDZ Quest 2 starting tomorrow.
It's gonna be so back. We're gonna be back and active. We're gonna be playing. I mean, I did get a request. People want to see some hey. Maybe we'll get a hey deck going. I want to play a little bit of Jafar Wheel, steal some of that. I just pulled decks from the highlights, and we'll play a little bit. We'll have some fun. We will vibrate magnificently. We will talk. We will chat. We'll laugh. We'll cry. We'll sing some songs. We'll watch some movies. We'll do everything.
Cry.
So,
it's gonna be a long stream tomorrow. So tomorrow, 12-hour stream starting. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for you to be back. It's been weird the past 2 days. I'm like, what am I supposed to do at the afternoon? Am I supposed to just sit with my thoughts? Disgusting behavior.
Yeah. So come on, hang out with me, and we'll rock it late into the night tomorrow. We'll have a long stream, talk about a lot of things, do a little of this, a little bit of that. Have a good time. It's gonna be a vibe. It's gonna be.
How close are you to the next giveaway?
Actually, the next giveaway will be happening tomorrow as well. We've hit the next giveaway, so that's happening tomorrow too. Okay. So free giveaway. I still have to give some cards away from the previous giveaway. I'm a little backed up on my giveaways. I did send out a nice shipment, so a lot of people should be getting their previous giveaways. But what happens is I'll say, hey, send me your stuff in Discord, and no one will send it, and then they'll send it late, and I gotta refine it again. I don't know. Discord doesn't really handle direct messages too terribly well, but it's a vibe. It's energy. We'll be there. Locked in.
I can't wait to see you again, and hopefully it's a better box than the last cursed one. I absolve you of whatever that was. That was so scary to watch.
That was real bad. But it looks. Are we rocking? Are we doing the next game? Where is the?
I guess we can introduce Bannable, right? Because is Bannable ready, or is he like putting on? Okay.
So, all right. I see him there. I see him now. He's looking very handsome. Oh my goodness, Matty Ball, dude. Look at him go. All right. I'll say my goodbyes. Until next time, I'll be watching. Peace.
Bye. But hello to Bannable. Who's coming? Hello. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Great. It's time to find out if you can hear me.
I can.
Okay. I meant you. I didn't mean you. I meant stream.
All right, not me. Sorry, stream. This one's on you. I'll hang out.
You're wonderful, Katie. But
yeah, I can hear you. You know,
I have as much faith in Luke as I have in myself.
They're being real demure. They're being demure in that chat right now. They're like, I don't know. Can we hear you? Okay. They're saying, hey, bestie. So either color is just so excited to see your. Okay, we hear you. We're ready. We're ready to move on. So, how was your day? Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I worked like I usually do during the week.
That is nice. That's a nice habit to be into.
Then I made dinner, and here we are. That's pretty much the day.
Yeah, well, that was a great intro, but we are going to move into a match here. Color says, aren't you so excited for Friday?
So I believe Ashley's excited because I'm going to be on the show with her, assuming I remember this time. And it's like a one-sided bestie-ship thing we have going on. I believe she has imprinted on me.
That'll
and-
happen. We
Yeah.
all, it happens, and that's powerful. It's powerful that she opened up the Maelstrom team roster and said, "That's my best friend right there."
Yeah. Yeah, she's, you know, she's okay.
All right.
We're friends.
So, feelings on Color is law. You legally have to like it. Color's friendship is law. We got an interesting matchup here. We've already seen a Mulan and Twin Cinderella. So we're like, okay, princesses, it's Amber, something's cooking up. But on Clara's side, we've seen one card. It is a nice shiny emerald card. And we're already off to the races knowing that it's Steel Song. But Clara has something very surprising that she's going to show us here on her next turn.
I'm excited.
Yeah, because I sent you the updated list, and it's called the Holiday Special, and you guys are going to see why in just a kiss of a moment. I hope, or she's not. She's going to make sure that I never see it, but either way.
The Holiday Special.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing some funky little cards in this deck. There's 2 songs right off where Gabe Golfer, I believe it is saying, hey, you remember these songs that you guys never freaking sing? When Will My Life Be Again? I'm going to sing that one. I'm also going to sing I'm Still Here in Steel Song. I'm going to sing.
Am I confused? How did the first song end up in the bin on turn 1?
So I believe. How did the first song? Okay, so she sang I'm Still Here. Then she inked that other one, and then she played Be Our Guest out of pop.
Oh, we hardcast Be Our Guest this turn.
Yes.
Now I understand.
And that's just because we haven't seen Be Our Guest for 100 years. I mean, that's a crazy thing to have to see in these times.
Yeah, the set 1 Steel Song Special.
Yeah, and then we move into, now we know why it's a holiday special, because we are seeing it's red and green. It is emerald ruby, and we know Claire likes to do little sneaky stuff. So I'm very excited to see how this pays off, because now I don't think Gabe has really good picture of what he's about to run into.
Yeah, I'm a little scared. I love interesting decks, but when you're facing down Steel Song, which is just like, I don't know, kind of like a sledgehammer, just like to beat up on fun things.
It does. It likes to say, it says, I literally don't care what you're doing over there. I say no. So notably with red and with ruby and emerald, there's no Pete's. There might be some kind of be prepared, but yeah, it's just going to be, we're going to hope that whatever little like magical antics that Clara has, she can pull off before Steel Song does what it does and tell you absolutely not. All the cute stuff you want to do doesn't happen on my watch.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I haven't taken a peek at the list yet, but are we going to see like a Robin Hood action shenanigans here? Because I kind of hope we do. I really do enjoy that card.
No.
You gotta
but nah, I'm just gonna. I haven't got to crush anyone's dreams today, so. But and that's. But it illustrates that what I think that this set champs is going to be kind of annoying is there going to be times where you go, oh, I wonder if they're going to do this, and you're just not going to know, because I think people are really kind of waking up to the fact that you can have an advantage just by doing sneaky little stuff.
Absolutely.
So lots of fun cards here. Notably, probably going to go for. Well, it's rough because I'd want to go for the Inkable, but at the same time, Storm draws a card, so get out of here with that.
Yeah, I think the trouble with Storm is that you can use the draw 2 with Punzel next turn.
Yeah, it's a very versatile one here. And it's also interesting to note that dealing damage to the queen, if there was any kind of damage dealt to her, she gets to get kind of beefed up. It's a weird card. I read it wrong the first time I drafted it. I was like, oh, she's a 4/4. No, she has to have damage. So it's kind of it's a goofy one, but it does make it where she can challenge in once into something and then maybe become a 4/4 pretty early in the game.
Yeah, for a while I was seeing some play in like the Ruby Amethyst decks. I know it was popular at the beginning of the format. Definitely an interesting card. I think, if you're going to play something like Teeth and Ambitions, it makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's so weird to see Teeth. I mean, honestly, it's crazy how many things that Hiram made people go, well, can I do this now? And I'm like, could we have done these things all along? Was it truly just Hiram and Fortescue leaving that made us all be like, you know what, maybe I will do a Teeth and Ambitions? But yeah, we were seeing cards come back where, I don't know, it's exciting. It's exciting to see people have this brain space now. And in this case, just get rid of your whole hand. Whatever you had, absolutely not.
I wasn't sure what was going on there. If it was like a, oops, that's not the song I meant, but
Yeah, full send. So we go ahead, ink Troubadour, sing a whole new world, and then say, what do I have? What am I going to play with my 4 ink here? So it's kind of, we talk about fair and unfair. That feels unfair. I still don't fully understand the concept of unfair, but I feel like getting to draw a whole hand, keep 4 ink ready afterwards feels.
I believe drawing 7 and then playing a bunch of things for free with singers
feels bad.
This is unfair.
Yes. Okay. All right. So either way, we went ahead and got rid of some nice stuff, but either way, it destabilizes Claire a bit. Now, does it feed good things into her hand? It looks like she had a Muses, Shark, another Ursula, a Teeth and Ambition. So
I think the fear for Gabriel is that when you draw the whole new world like that and you have the Singer 5 in play, you just don't want to get it taken by the second Ursula. So you just kind of jam it while you have the opportunity.
Gabe is like he's the guy that like is at the bar and he's like, I want to listen to all the songs from when I was younger. And is he just part of your world? What is going on?
He's just a dad?
Yeah, he's like, oh man, I love this song. And you're like, wow, how old are you, Gabe? And it's like Miss American Pie. I was like, I'm pretty sure you're like 25. But either way,
we've been hearing these songs since set 1.
Oh my gosh.
Something else.
I mean, notably, I do have, I think, approximately 19 copies of Part of Your World. So if he could drive up the price of this, man, that'd be so cool. I got so many of them. I took a shine to that card. That song imprinted on me, much like Color imprinted on you. A whole Part of Your World really imprinted on me in every pack I pulled of the first chapter.
I'm not sure if that's lucky or unlucky, but congratulations.
I mean, if Gabe's about to spike the price here, then it could be my lucky day. But either way, we see Mulan, which he has shown that he has a shift Mulan, which is so fun. That's one of my favorite things. Is it smart? No, it is not smart to ever gamble on a Mufasa, a Mulan, an Oswald, but it's fun and life is short. That's my speech on gambling cards.
You know, I think the Mufasa players would say it's not so much gambling. It's like you're gonna win. It's just how much you win.
You win, just not this set. Like in a maybe like
Mulan.
Okay.
You lose more than anything, but when you win, you can win big.
It's true, and I mean, it feels so good when you. Oh my gosh, a free mob song off of Mulan. Call me in the morning. That's not a thing either. That's not a saying, but either way, it's the dream. A mob song for free in this economy.
That would be fantastic.
Notably, there is no mob song in the deck, but it is fun.
But if it were there.
Yeah, JDZ said, is that red green? Yes. Is it still Christmas Day, young boy? Is that turkey still available? It is Christmas. So far, Clara is it's a sad Christmas. She hasn't really done anything Christmassy yet, but with a deck like this, I don't know. I don't know what her win condition is. I think it does look like we see a Diablo, so card draw for sure. We saw some action, Storm, and some Muses. So she's got lots of fun little things she can do, but notably, Gabe is having a lot of fun.
I believe one of those Zeus bolts was foil, and I believe what I would like to see out of Clara is to have Gabe go back and discard the foil one. He can keep the non-foil. Unfortunately,
he cannot, and we all know foils count for more in Lorcana.
It's true.
They are the most special of the special cards.
Whoa. I am not a bully. I'm being accused of some very, very uncool things in chat, and I need to defend myself. I'm not a bully most of the time to most people, and
I think it's important to know.
Sounds bad, but
so I was going to note that bullying is when you're mean to just one person, and I was going to say, but you're mean to everyone. But you literally just said I'm only mean to some people, which is actually the definition of bullying. So I think it is unfortunate.
Yikes!
They said, why don't you have a Minnesota accent?
Because it's not real.
You don't have a bag of marbles.
It's not some words.
Put it in. Yes, talk about the bag.
The bag.
Yeah, it's a little one. You can.
We do say hot dish for
but you gotta have.
Absolutely do play Duck Duck Gray Duck. That's a real thing.
Okay, now you're getting silly. Now you guys are getting silly. You're like, and then we absolutely do the oven mitt scoot on Fridays.
I think the real answer is I went to college and got made fun of.
That'll do it. Honestly, that'll do it. The amount of coworkers that are like, I am from Boston. I'm like, why don't you talk like that? They're like, I got bullied. And I'm like, wow. But either way, we see, is it going to hit? I don't really know. I'm looking at a lot of piles here. I think it hit a Mulan. So he just revealed the Mulan and then just said, I'm going to keep it face up. I'm not going to turn it. You know what it is. And I see. So unfortunately, Mulan, You disappointed me. I was saying how cool it is, and you literally Mulan into a Mulan. That's egregious behavior.
It doesn't just look like a character in play.
Yeah, my brain broke. I was like, there's so many Mulans all of a sudden. There's quite literally 3 on the board, 4 really, and 5. It kind of got scary, but I'm better.
Yeah, this is kind of the stage of the game where Steel Song excels. Like, you get a bunch of songs in hand, and then you play them all for free. Your opponent's paying full price for every single card they have. It's just not fair.
Yeah, and we know that you can get to a point where it runs out of gas, but with a whole new world and just as an option, it is really hard to get to that point where they're out of gas. Now, notably, that's a pretty wide board, and we're looking at 2 lore, so it's not like Gabe is just running away with it. So, I mean, if Clara can get to a point where she comfortably can apply the brakes firmly, looking at her deck list, she does obviously run some removal. It's hard. She's in a kind of an uphill battle against Gabe, who consistently is just having control on her side of the board, which generally Ruby likes to be doing.
Yeah, if you're Gabe, I wonder if you're afraid of of Be Prepared. I think that's kind of the biggest, scariest thing that could happen to you with a wide board.
It is, and it's one of those things that anytime you see Ruby, you just have to play like it exists, which I think is kind of cool. I think there's cards in the game that, whether it's there or not, I think they call it, you have to respect it, which I really like when people say that. You have to Be Prepared, and you do, because I mean, if it's there, you have to play very differently. So no matter what,
you're playing a deck that's off the wall, right? Obviously, Gabe does not know what Clara is playing. It could be in there, it could not. It is a song. You could. We've already seen 7-drop Clarabelle, so you know that Clara plans to go that high in ink.
This is a fun time to mention that when I was at Continentals, Clara gave me a Clarabelle card that she signed, and I was like, "That's cool." It's because she played a deck with Clarabelle. My brain, literally, it took like 4 months to be like, Clarabelle. Like, what was going on in there in my brain where I was like, "Thanks, Clara, for the Clarabelle," and I was like, "It's 2 people."
And now I'm learning that I am a bully because I had to resist the urge to make fun of you for that.
It's worth it. I'm making fun of me. Like, I mean, if anything, you're just agreeing. You're like, I agree. That is a silly thing to have to be like, oh yeah, this is a Maxwell card. My name's Max. I'm like, crazy coincidences, man. This world it's a small world. Who knows?
Now, which Clarabelle did you get signed?
It was a clumsy one. I have it. I have it here.
Is Clara going around giving out legendary Clarabelles to people?
Yeah, Claire's a good friend. No, I have signed cards. I only have 3 signed cards. I have Judge Phil signed Good Job. I have Pinocchio by Dick Burns, and then I have a Clara from Clarabelle. No, Clarabelle from Clara. So it's in my special. This is my special influencer sticker and player card.
Wow. Yeah, but you don't have one of these yet, do you?
Oh my gosh. I literally got bullied by Wonder because I was like, man, I really want one of those tokens. And I was on, and he literally said, hey, JDZ, I got one of these I can give to you. And I'm like, what was that? It felt so targeted. And it probably was. And that's okay. You don't have to get one given to you. You just have to find a Maelstrom player that you believe you're stronger than, and then you just take it.
Yeah, beat them up and steal it.
Yeah, just take it and just like pump fake at them until they get.
Oh no, it's not stealing. It's just taking.
It's just taking, and they acquiesce.
Right. Yes. Very different.
So we do see the muses come in here. Now, notably, the muses is when you play a song. So something like Brawl, unfortunately, does not let the muses do anything super cool. But another card that you don't see so often. Both of these players are like, I'm going through my bulk and seeing what I can find. Kristoff was notably a promo card at one point. It still is. I don't think they took that status away from him. But for each card in your discard, you pay 1 less to play this character. So he's like Chernobog's friend, Kristoff and Chernobog, and 3, and he's a bodyguard. So he's kind of interesting. It's an interesting card in here that I'm let's see how it plays out. You definitely can't brawl him. So what else are you gonna do? Oh, well, that's a good answer.
Yeah, there you go, right there.
That's a really good answer to what to do about him. Oh, but no.
It's always awkward to play cards like this on shift characters.
That is, yeah. Now that Kristoff is a 3/7, which makes you believe that maybe she has a second number now, because that Kristoff's a problem, especially for those little noodle-armed ladies that she has on her side of the board.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Mulan is also very scary.
That's true, especially knowing that it seems like he has.
There you go.
Well, that
There's
makes
the
it,
answer.
Yeah, he's. Clara said, "I've become resplendent with answers."
Very clever, very clever.
And then the bounce ability too, guys. So basically, the whole board effectively got cleared. Now we know that Ariel can come back and probably will and get another song, but definitely the tempo play work there.
Yeah, I just want to talk about how close this game is compared to what it looked like a few turns ago. I mean, it looked like Clara was falling behind, Gabe was singing all these songs, had a huge board, and suddenly it's a very close game.
Yeah, and Gabe says, if I stop playing Scar related removal on me, it's freaking me out. So no more King Undisputed, no Teeth Ambitious, at least for one turn. So we will go ahead and just see what she's gonna play now that she's got some time. And we know it, you love it. Shark, which suddenly makes this Steel Song deck say, I have got to get Zeus right now.
Yeah, that Shark can threaten to take over a game very quickly. And we know there's not a lot of Zeuses, right? Gabe has used one Zeus was discarded. I mean, Steel Song often doesn't play all four, so it's going to be tough to find an answer.
Yeah, and this is a deck list where, you know, you guys are slowly seeing all the cards, but there's still cards where I'm like, that's interesting. So I'm very, very excited to talk about this in the post interview because I think what we would call this deck, I've heard it called Damage Matters, and I think this falls a little bit under Damage Matters, but we've also got card draw. She really has put a lot into this little deck. So not to give flowers to Gabe, who's definitely, like I said, brought out the antiquities of songs over here. But it's just, I'm sure Gabe is like, can you stop playing weird cards over there?
It's Clarabelle Song Damage Matters Shark deck.
Yeah, it's a classic. We're going to give it to Lorcana Bell and be like, Lorcana Bell, put this in the meta. She's like, I don't know. Please don't do this to me. I can't just put everything in a meta. So maybe this would be the Clara special. We'll call this one. I guess Clara, if she wins with it, then she gets to call whatever she wants. It seems to be that's how decks work.
Within reason.
I mean, I guess she did call it Holiday Special, so it has a placeholder name. Within reason, yeah. She can call it Bannable Stinks. You'd be like, why? What? Be like, I can name it.
I'd have that coming. I think.
This is the old Bannable Stinker. So we do see the perfect setup here because, I mean, the synergy now between the Shark and the Muses, it's hard to not miss it. That Shark wants to see some things turn sideways and get some actions back. The Muse wants to do it's bad. It's bad for Gabriel, who has to find some pretty swift responses.
It does seem a little bit like Clara's kind of just hanging on by a thread here. As soon as this Maui gets answered, it's yep.
That's a great answer. Yeah. So Worlds comes in, World's Greatest Criminal Mind, and says, Shark, get out of here. And honestly, that's one of my more favorite cards in the game because it is such an efficient answer to such a giant problem. And it's like for a while, no decks were running it because it was like not worth it. But the minute you start seeing these Maui Have Sharks, you're like, and Churnative Bog. It's so amazing. It's such a budget answer to a big, big, big problem.
For sure. Yeah. Inkable, never a huge problem. Fits right into the deck.
Yeah, and then she also strikes a good match, which draw 2 cards, choosing to discard a card. Notably is going to probably be a pretty fun deck as we see more illusions coming with Jafar, because it's one of those where we know it's not strike a good match. You don't get to. What am I talking about? I need to go to bed.
I don't know.
It's gonna talk about illusions. I don't know how you can make an illusion draw a card. Improvise is what I was thinking of. I'll get it together, I promise. But both of them are Mulan and it's Emerald. And either way, part of your world. Let's get a character back, and we're gonna go ahead and get Ariel. I'm assuming.
Makes a lot of sense.
It is. It's a card where she does a lot. She disappoints people, as we talked about how gambling isn't always about the wins; it's about the losing. And sometimes Ariel says, I didn't find any songs. And you're like, Ariel, don't come back here if you don't find a song. Please. Why is part of your world there? Because it's in the deck. The pudding. Gabe is a mad lad. Gabe went through. So far, we've seen Be Our Guest, Bare Necessities. I think he inked Part of Your World, World's Greatest Criminal Mind. I'm Still Here. Like, it's just like, where'd you get this? Where'd you get it?
My best guess is that Ariel missed one too many times, and he said, "I've had enough of this. I'm going to make half of my deck songs. It'll never happen again."
That's a good point. I mean, they do say you need 20 songs to make Ariel viable. Is that like what the scientists say?
I remember a day when we played 12 songs in Steel Song, and we liked it. We actually didn't like it.
It's 30%. It's 50% songs. This deck is 50%, which is like, that's
a lot.
You're going to find a song. That's a good, which makes sense because Mulan. So we did see Gabe go ahead and take that game 1. And now Clara says, all right, I'm going to show you some I'm going to show you what this deck can do. And the answer is we already saw a little bit of it. It looks like, I mean, she almost got there a few times, and luckily Gabe just had 50% of his deck being songs. But we'll see if Clara can kind of put the pressure on in the opposite direction. Maybe get rid of the Ariel before she can sing anything problematic songs. Ariel, don't. That's why we can't take you to karaoke.
Yeah, in these song versus song type decks, going first is often a huge advantage. Obviously, Gabe went first that game, and it worked out well. Let's see if it goes the other way this time for Clara.
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting. I mean, going first is always feels good, especially, I mean, she has built this deck to have some one drops. It's definitely not the most aggressive deck I've seen in my life, but at the same time, she's kind of wanting to get to that mid-range of it and start being pretty punishing with some of the cards we've already seen, like Teeth and Ambitions. As we know, a Cinderella against the Teeth and Ambitions meta is a fearful young lady.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing for me as far as play draw goes, is just the person who gets on the board first can then sing songs to prevent their opponent from keeping characters on the board, and it just sort of swings the tempo pretty heavily.
Now we do have someone in the chat. We have Knives, who is a recent member of the Sunflower Illumineers, and he's cheering them on. So they're expanding the Sunflowers. Who I think because he drove through Kansas to get to Colorado, so I'm assuming they like stopped his car and said, "Hey, you ever played Lorcana before?" So we just got an update that he's actually going to be playing tonight. We didn't know that. So if you guys want to know what Knives looks like and his accomplishments, just Google him, or Knives if you want to just kind of describe yourself, and then also drop 3 accomplishments so people can simulate what it would have been like if we had a player card for you. But that's exciting. This is like wrestling where it's like, and I'm here, brother, to give you the data of how much you're going to lose.
No, we have to wait. It went to ad break.
That's
very upset that
wow.
we're talking about him and he can't see.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Then we'll be done. We'll be like, anyway, that's what I heard he said.
Also, we can't keep calling him Knives, because when you say Knives, I think like
Trigun?
Stab someone, which is
I think Trigun. Like I think he's like he's Vash's.
I believe it's Knive, and the S is like
okay. That's
it's
true.
his nerd corner.
It's not Knive is his nerd corner, so it's just Knive.
Yeah. There's no knives in the corner. Just Knive owns the corner.
Knives in the corner. That's where you should keep them, especially if or you want to locate them. I don't have children. I don't know where you're supposed to keep the knives. Children cannot approach 2 walls. The closer 2 walls get, children can't get to it. Either way, we are going ahead. We've altered, and Clara is going to go ahead. Ink, one of the cards she signed, a clumsy guess, I believe it is. Clara. Which is kind of interesting because that is a 1-drop, but it's not a card you really want to play on turn 1 if you can really help it. So it's not the worst thing to ink, because she is quite literally a 1/2, and you cannot use her cool ability, and might not. I mean, it doesn't look like that ability has any targets in this deck anyway.
All right, 1-drop Mulan. That is not a Cinderella. I feel like if you're Clara, you're more happy about that than a Cinderella. Although we do know about the shift Mulan, so maybe you're not. I don't know.
Yeah, and the notable thing is you're not shifting that Mulan. I mean, you could shift it next turn, actually. It's just, it's kind of fun because you're like, I don't know what I'm going to get. Now, notably, Clara has nothing on the board right now, so a song. But they got weird songs over there. So, honestly, I'm really hoping we're shifting and just playing some crazy song right now.
2-drop Ursula, which makes me think maybe Clara doesn't have a lot of ink. I feel like Ursula's pretty good against the half-song deck.
Yeah, and especially because, I mean, she didn't play a 1-drop when, I mean, in theory, having a body can be nice, especially if you're going to play a Teeth and Ambitions. And so, yeah, she made 2 choices in a row that make me think she's just trying to get to some uninkable problems or get through that part. All right, song.
Yeah, I mean, notably, shift characters weak against Be King Undisputed, so there's a way out of this, I think, for Clara.
And I'm looking at the list of like what songs could Mulan get for free, and the answer is nothing. Sorry, it's a Cinderella. This wrong house. But I mean, it could have been interesting because it is a choice. So it's something where, let's say she drew a strength and was like, okay, you can play it for free. But in this case, he'd probably be like, I don't want to do that, because if you play it, then that queen becomes a 4/4. So it was kind of, I was hoping that'd be interesting, but it wasn't. It was just Cinderella. Aw.
All right, shift Queen of Hearts. That is a new one. And there's the Be King Undisputed. Luke going off in chat because he called it.
He's very smart. That's why we have him back there. And so I think Luke is getting excited, and I think old Luke is going to talk about how this is very similar to a Damage Matters deck he built in Limited that he talks about when he gets excited about people asking about Limited. So I don't know if that's going to come up, but he did LOL because this queen, whenever another character is played, put a damage counter on them. So suddenly you're like, uh-oh, what are you doing over there? And the answer is being a problem with a 2/6 a quest for 2.
Yeah, I mean, notably, the 1-drop Mulans now don't do anything, so I think that's kind of nice for Clara. The body on the queen is also just really big. I have to go look it up. It's a 2/6 because I could not remember.
Yeah, I mean,
and you put it on screen.
I did. I was like, I want the people to know, and the answer is just Pete. I'm just gonna Pete while I'm here because you're freaking me out over there. I don't know what you're gonna do because I know obviously this queen is very excited about the damage she can inflict, and Clara's built her deck. So the good news is Clara knows what's in her deck, so she doesn't have anything with 1 willpower. So good job, Clara, on that part. But she does have some F2, so she does have to be careful, making sure she plays this right. And she comes in with a Clarabelle Contented Wallflower, which is when you play this character, if an opponent has more cards in your hands than you can draw a card.
I like this Clarabelle. I wish it saw more play, but
I mean, Clara said, "I'll help."
thank you very much.
I'm doing. She's the. I'm doing my part. So Clara comes in, or Clarabelle comes in and gets 1 damage because that's just unfortunately what you got to do if you're playing, and it is any character. So that's, I think, one of the downsides. When I rated this card in Limited, I was like, that's too scary. And I immediately was like, I don't like it. But obviously there's benefits, as we are going to see, because it does mess with all these little guys on Gabe's side, which, I mean, I'm kind of looking. It's really just that one Mulan that's scared. The other ones are like medium scared.
It's interesting here, right? Because the Queen of Hearts now allows Gabe to draw 1 off Rapunzel. Now, I don't actually think that's that big of a deal, but it is something to think about.
Yeah, it's as far as Rapunzel traps go, it's like, I'll allow it. I mean, that's not the worst Rapunzel trap I've ever fell into. Now, Pete could start working on this beefy lady over here, but we'll see.
It could easily have just been 2, right? If Pete had no damage, then Pete can challenge the Queen of Hearts.
That's a good point. So if anything, that 1 was nice because that Queen of Hearts could have made 2 cards. So, the Queen of Hearts said, listen, I have one of the more beautiful art in the set. I wonder if one day they'll make a playmat, because I know it's like kind of random when they make playmats now. They're like, I want to. So maybe one day we'll get Queen of Hearts. And Clara
I feel like they want to hear what cards we like so that they can choose playmats. That's me being optimistic about how they make these decisions.
Yeah, and then they pick Tigger. I don't know. I don't know. That was
wow, Katie. You need to get something off your chest.
Okay.
You're upset.
I do have like a very long rant about like how it's not like, listen, there should only be 1 Tigger. No, I'm just kidding. It's more just the fact that that should have been like the set champ mat. Why didn't we have a pirate during the pirate theme set as the set champ mat? And then later he came out and I was like, Tigger, you should have been here earlier and like doing pirate stuff. So it's more just timing. Tigger's fine. He could be there. He has every right to be on a playmat. All right, so we're gonna strike
Until
a good
you forget it.
Yeah. And then people go, "How dare you?" Katie canceled because she said she doesn't like Tigger here. But either way, we draw and discard a Diablo, and that was sung by Clarabelle. So we have still some more ink to do some cool stuff with. In this case, give me your songs.
We get to peek at Gabe's hand.
We see a Troubadour, 2 Aerials, and something.
I can't tell what the last card is.
And apparently Clara's got eagle eyes and said, I know what that is. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. 15 Mahomes the Goat says, cancel Katie. To be honest, I like the alliteration of it. And I do too. It does flow really nicely. Cancel
Yeah,
Katie.
and be like, why of all the things today, you're like, actually, I think the take-home message of all things that happened today is we should cancel Katie. And I think that's really cool that's how we're going to end the day on. But either way.
Which winner? Light her up.
Yeah, she deserves it for what she did. What'd she do? Well, she questioned the timing of set champs. Either way.
She said some very mean things about Tigger.
Yeah, she said, I just don't like that he was on 1 playmat asynchronous to when she expected. So we see a Diablo in a precarious position here where he comes in with 1 damage. He's a fragile boy. He only has, but he's evasive. But really now it just takes 1 character and a strength to get rid of that sweet, sweet bird that nobody has ever had any ill will towards.
Yeah, I think it's tough when you play Ursula and you see your opponent has no songs and 2 aerials. It's kind of disappointing. Like, oh,
You're like,
you don't have
ah!
any songs, but actually you do. I just can't take them.
They said, listen, you don't know this song, but your kids are going to love it. And it's a song in the future. So yeah, that area will, like someone pointed out, when that Mulan missed, it's technically a 50-50 rate. Like, obviously, whatever cards you draw messes with the ratio.
Well,
but
it's technically slightly better than that because we know one Mulan's not in the deck.
Okay, either way, we could do fight a Zeus.
Sorry.
And then she passed away. But either way, this deck is built to hit songs. I don't think it would be unreasonable to go past 30 songs. This is, like, I think the most it's reasonable to have in a deck. You know, it'd be nice, some flutes, but y'all don't want to hear me. You just want to play Lorcana.
You've put 30 songs in your deck. You have to put some cards that do stuff in there, I think.
I know, the flutes. The flutes is passive income. If I'm playing songs every turn,
Stop
you know, it'd be
trying
nice.
to make flutes happen.
The amount of times I bring up flutes and people act like I say, I think we should play Uno. I'm like, guys, I think it could work. Not me, but I need someone else to prove it. And the answer is it can't.
You know, I've got a producer in my ear telling me to stop talking about flutes, but I think he's just mad that we're not talking about Lantern.
It's true. And Lantern is like, that's why I think it's crazy. These Craven Seal song players that are like, flutes, but you know what I like? Lantern. I'm like, don't come at me that I can have a lantern, but I can't have a flute. I can close out a game with a flute. I'm not closing out a game with a lantern. All right.
Yeah, but you could, like, take over a game with a lantern because it's like ramp. And it's an amber, which is really cool.
One day I did say I wish there was a sleepy flute where you could, like, sacrifice it and deal 2 damage. And they're like, have you heard of Coconut Launch? And I'm like, no. So I was like, I guess not. So apparently that card already exists where you could throw an item at somebody for some damage.
All right. It's you know, it's an interesting spot here. We haven't seen a whole new world. I believe Gabe still has one more aerial in hand, but we do have this active Diablo in play, which is going to demand an answer pretty soon, or it's going to take over, I think, for Clara.
Yeah,
I guess it's going to come down to what we see off aerial next turn.
Yeah, and we see that Troubadour, who notably has 1 resist. She's like, well, I can't really challenge into that very easily. And that 1 damage didn't come on. Well, because obviously the queen's not here with us anymore. So, and she might be kind of saying, like, you know, it'd be really cool. Whole new world. You should do it. Totally do it.
It's like the one scary thing about choosing to use your Zeus Bolt on the Queen of Hearts rather than the Diablo is now your whole new worlds are kind of not very good. Now, Gabe is going to be okay here. Has the Storm Rage on off of aerial.
But you do get to draw a card as you watch your bird perish into the banished pile. So it's kind of like bittersweet. One last act of, here you go. See you later.
Yeah, I don't have my game-winning card that can take over games on its own, and my consolation prize is 1 card. I'd be pretty disappointed, but it's not nothing.
It is not nothing. You know, I mean, unless it is a card and it's blank.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ink and aerial, which I don't know how many cards Gabe has in hand, but that screams whole new world to me.
Yeah, and but to be fair, that Pete is pretty important because he's still playing around this Schrodinger's be prepared that exists and doesn't exist in Clara's hand.
True. Maybe that's what it is. Gabe is just like very afraid of this be prepared that may or may not be there.
Please don't do it. You're scaring me so bad. But it is one of those things where he inked and he didn't use all his ink, so it's just really, yeah, like you said. I mean, maybe he just really is like, I'm going to do. You will not stop me from doing this whole new world next turn.
Yeah, it just seems like a high risk play. 1 Ursula would sort of crumble the house of cards there. I'm very curious to see what's in Gabe's hand here.
I know both. I mean, to be fair, this is one of those matches where I'm like, I can guess, but you guys are crazy. You're 2 crazy Lorcana players. So Clara doesn't get to do the Ursula, which kind of, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, like I said, I mean, there's so many songs. Some are much scarier than others in her deck. So in this case, inking the Rapunzel makes me believe we are full sending into...
People in chat talking about how they can hear Luke. I want to know if they can hear Luke the whole time because that's hilarious.
I mean, that'd be, and he's just like, he's like, they won't ban Diablo. They can't hurt him. They can't hurt him.
I was right. That play makes a lot more sense now, knowing that the whole new world was there.
Yeah. Now it's like, listen, I'm going to bet. I'm going to bet with my life that you're not going to be prepared because you can't because of Pete. And also that you're not going to take any songs from me. And she won, or he won rather, but he still has a whole war against, because we know Clara has some stuff that she can start doing here. Although it will be harder now that Gabe has a full clutch of hands.
Luke now saying, "No, haha, you guys fell into my trap. I actually did it on purpose to be funny," which is the lie I would tell too if I forgot to mute myself.
Yeah, it's like when you trip,
That
you're
makes
like,
sense.
it's the Steve Urkel defense of I meant to do that.
Exactly.
Now, kids, Steve Urkel was a show. I don't know. I don't think I ever watched
Steve
it.
Urkel was a show.
Family Matters was a show,
That
but
is
whatever.
the name of the show. Nope.
Isn't it Family
Can't say it.
Matters?
This is why we're canceling.
Oh yeah, that people are gonna be like, Family Matters. You can't make any jokes about it, okay?
All of our 70-year-old viewers are very, very upset.
70. All right, now you've got canceled with people who are like, I'm 35. Okay. All right. So part of your world comes back. So that is okay. So interesting point. That this part of your world is some super secret tech here. I can't even. It's only costs 3 to sing, so it's pretty fun. Because yeah, you get to get things like Ariel back, and knowing that Ariel gets to go fishing for songs. I'm like, why do we ever get rid of part of your world? And the answer is they made it on a body, and then we stopped playing that body, and then whatever. We just had enough cards. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I think the big one is that it's uninkable.
Yeah.
It's a card that's not always good, and you can't ink it, which is a liability.
I do think it's good when someone plays a deck that makes you think about like, are we dumb? And the answer is like it's more complicated than that. You know, these are spicy decks. But I do every once in a while see a card. I'm like, maybe we forgot about it. And then you read all the testing people in the world that build decks, and you're like, oh no, people were thinking about it. I might be perhaps short-sighted.
Yeah, this one definitely slipping away from Clara. That whole new world in the mid game off the top was a real tough thing to beat, I think.
Yeah, and I mean she can rebuild her board, but unfortunately, I mean the power level of the cards on the other side, as far as what they can do, is going to be. I mean, it's just a lot of problems to deal with between the Rapunzel, who's presenting something that she needs to deal 4 damage to, and a Pete that could deal 3 damage, 2 Singers, and a Mulan that could become a bigger problem Mulan. This is a good move to say, what do you... Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, at this point...
I don't think you can ever win if you don't take that whole new world.
Yeah, because I mean, you can eventually make them run out of answers, especially because Claire's got sizable removal in her deck. So if she can do some removal city, just keep really mowing down these characters, then yes, there could be a point where if they don't have access to that whole new world, they can possibly be stalled out. Game can get stalled out, but unfortunately,
it's pretty rough either way.
I think, but it's a chance. You're saying there's a chance. All right.
Going wide here. Unfortunately, 1/2s are not really that great right now. Choosing to brawl the Rapunzel, buy some time.
Yeah, and brawl is a nice little 3 costs, and basically it's like a cheaper inkable Along Came Zeus for little weenie strength characters. So Rapunzel's out of here. Now these are not big questers, but this is a problem because Zeus is probably about to come down, and the problem is not that bad because honestly, those are 3 characters that as long as one Clarabelle survives, she could shift and it won't be so bad. But I'm assuming, yeah, why not?
Naveed to play the Zeus. I don't think the Ursula was super important here, but just a nice high tempo play. Commit more stuff to the board.
Yeah.
Maybe Gabe is starting to think, I don't think there's any B preps in there. I've played it.
I've done some pretty
this match. I haven't seen one.
Yeah, I think you're a liar, but there are some things. So we're getting to the point where like now I'm gonna start saying like these are cards that I'm like, are we actually gonna see? So she doesn't have to be prepared. Gabe is right. And then the other question is, we do see a Pirate's Life. We see some things, and I'm like, are we gonna get to see this, or is Gabe just gonna completely dominate everything Clara wants to do with her cool deck? And the answer is Gabe's working his hardest to dominate all the cool stuff that she can do. And then this card here was When Will My Life Begin? I'm looking at partially because I don't remember. A chosen character can't challenge her their next turn. So that's why she just tilts him a little bit to be like, hey, when will your life begin? In a turn. And it might be over by then, if we're going to be honest with each other.
It won't be over. It might be effectively over. Wow. Yeah. That's a hit.
That is. And see, that's how Mulan gets you. Because now you're like, I get this deck. And that Clarabelle was not going to be banished. And I was banished for free. And you got a card? That's nice. And 2 lore. Beat that. That's economy. That's couponing.
What's better than remove a card, draw a card? It's
That's
remove
budgeting.
a card, draw a card for free, and it wasn't even from the hand. Just
Those are fun. And so
manifested it out of the ether.
So now that Gabe is saying, I'm pretty sure you don't have to be prepared. I know you have spot removal, so I know you can do King Undisputed. I know you got some cute little stuff over there. I'm not scared. Now we're kind of inching to the point where I don't know how much time I'll get to talk about this deck. There's something also really cool where we had that queen that plays the damage, and then we had things like Ring the Bell. You guys remember Ring the Bell? Bannable, do you remember Ring the Bell?
I do remember Ring the Bell, yes.
Yeah, it removes chosen damage character. So it's hard. I love watching Clara cook, but Gabe said, I don't know what you're making for dinner. I'm not eating it. So I'm getting scared that we're never. This is nice. Finally, we got to see Shift Clarabelle.
Mm-hmm. It's a good card for sure.
And then Brunoing right away into that pesky Mulan. That Mulan that is set up to win.
Yeah, you don't. If you want to remove it, you don't really have a lot of choice, right? Because the bodyguard prevents you from challenging the normal way.
3. So then. Oh, the suspense. The suspense.
Mulan. There it goes.
Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. And then we're gonna brawl one Ariel. So it's not perfect answers, but it is starting to answer because, like we said, that whole new world is gone. So Gabe does have to be economical with his resources here. And Clarabelle, so to speak, is a 5/6 character. So you could challenge, but it's gonna hurt a lot of your characters.
Yeah, Clarabelle, kind of exactly what Clara needed there, because it's able to sort of control the board a little bit, but also draw some cards, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, it kind of says, hey, if you're going to draw cards, I'm not so. Oh, and that's
Yeah.
And yeah, it really helps explain why World's Greatest Criminal Mind got added back to pretty much every Amber Steel list. It's really nice for these characters where you're like, what am I going to do? Oh yeah, just sing this for 3 and see ya. I mean, Pete can sing it. That's crazy. That's a crazy solution to such a big problem.
Part of your world probably getting back Ariel again is my guess, but there's probably a lot of options over there, and we don't get to see.
Yeah, it's private. In fact, it's kind of weird you'd ask, but it was Ariel. So Ariel's like, man, what song will I sing? I got plenty, is what she says. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. And by more, she means she wants a whole new world. Let's just get 7 more cards. Why not? Clarabelle's gone. Don't have to be worried about her anymore.
I think, probably choosing not to sing the whole new world is the right play here. If Be Prepared is in the deck, that seems like a good way to get your whole board Be Prepared.
I know, and it's like, I mean, at this point, Gabe has to be pretty. I mean, I think I'll ask in the post interview. At what point were you started to suspect there wasn't Be Prepared, and is there any point that you truly believed it wasn't there? Because I mean, you do have to think about it. It would seem like this would be the time, but no, it's simply not in the deck. But we do have King Undisputed, but that's just like diet Be Prepared.
It's not. It's quite a bit worse.
It's worse in every way. It's just, well, I mean, I guess let me read this. It's really bad. Yeah, I didn't even realize you didn't even pick. It's like diet Dragonfire. It's like, yeah, okay, Gabriel won. That's so rough, man. So Gabe really, I was too busy being like, is there something good about King Undisputed? And the answer is, But either way, we're gonna go into interviews and talk about those 2 exciting decks, and we'll go ahead and see how they decided to build it. Hello, party people.
Hello.
All right, so Clara, I have to say, I did tell a story on stream that I didn't realize that you gave me a Clarabelle because your name is Clara for like several months. And I wanted to say that when it hit me, I was like, Clarabelle. Anyway, so we'll start with that. So you feel comfortable knowing that I've made, I had to carry that secret for so long, but your deck is very fun. So tell me about how that we were inspired by this deck and what kind of made you do this kind of Damage Matters deck and what kind of testing you've done with it.
So I wanted to do really something different that was not seen in the meta, like working on the branding of what I do. And yeah, green, ruby, emerald, shift action with the splash of damage matter. There are some interesting lines in this deck that I could have used. However, Amber Steel is a tough matchup for this deck because it is able to renew their board and get away with almost anything, and especially this version I played against. Kudos to my opponent. Christoph, the returning of cards from the discard pile, that was too much for this deck to handle. I could not. It looks like a Emerald Steel in this way it plays out. So I needed to put my opponent down, which I was not able to do.
Yeah, I mean, Gabe said, "Listen, I got some weird stuff in my deck too." So I was very like every song, I was like, "What are you doing over there, Gabe?" And I will shout out the name of your deck is Christoph Jenkins. So explain a little bit on how you built your deck and what kind of went into the song choices that you have.
So, I mean, I always thought the 4-drop Mulan, the Shift 2, was an interesting card. Like, it's probably built to be in like a green-yellow shell, so you can stack the top of your deck with like Hypnotic Deduction. But I thought if I played 30 songs, most of which drew cards, like Be Our Guest, Storm, and the two 3-drop Inkable Steel ones, I'm Still Here, and what's the other one? When Will My Life Begin?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could have enough to like mathematically be okay, like even just questing it on turn 2 or just hard playing Zeus or Storm. And then Christoph just seems like an amazing card when paired with Part of Your World. Like, against blue red and like red purple, you just sit on your Christophs with Part of Your Worlds in hand and just dare them to be prep you. It's very fun. I think honestly the hardest matchup is Turnidogs, and I was so scared because I know Clara loves that color pairing.
That is a good point.
And Turnidogs is
You're gonna
so
make me
good right
regret
now.
it.
Yeah, I was scared to my boots. Like, I can't do anything against like 5 at 04s sitting there waiting for a quickie. So
That is very funny to hear that Clara's like, "Dang it, I could have brought that one." But yeah, either way, I mean, well, there was one question, and Vanable, I'll let you ask a question, but we kind of talked about, at what point did you suspect she didn't have Be Prepared? At what point we were like, wait a minute, I think she has
I
Be
was
Prepared.
I was keeping an eye on her discard, and there. I mean, obviously that last turn where I played Ariel, that was pretty much a blunder. I should have gotten Pete from my discard. I didn't realize I had one in there, and then afterward I saw it. So I was just trying to make sure to keep up the pace. Like, I thought maybe there was a one of, but I didn't see one in the discard game one, so I decided to not really play around it, and just hope that I had a Pete around the time.
That makes sense. I feel like in game 1 we saw the Pete come down sort of right on the B prep turn, and we're like, okay, he's playing around the B prep. And then as game 2 went on, it looked like you were respecting it less and less and less.
Yeah, maybe is there a one of in there?
No, the deck is not made to do that. It is based off it is a shifted colors from Emerald Steel in terms of how the deck works. Playing with songs and going on the shift lines to get to more devastating songs quickly, like Beaking Undisputed. We don't talk about Bruno.
Right.
And we have Maui Shark, but it was all bad.
It was all bad, but it was exciting. I mean, Vanable, do you have any questions about either of the deck lists or?
Yeah, I guess for Claire, I'm curious, how much testing have you done with that deck? I mean, do you think it's a viable deck that people could bring to their set championships this weekend?
I believe this deck needs some more work. I've tested that like couple games online. it has seemed like a reasonable success, and I wanted really to explore that more competitively. I believe that Be Prepared could be an option, especially with the Shift Clarabelle that can sing it and stuff like that. That could be a good alternative for this color pairing, or I don't know. It remains to be seen.
All right.
We appreciate you being the trailblazer there.
For sure, for sure. It's always nice to see people, come out to these things and bring something a little bit risky, a little bit more interesting. I know I'm always a very conservative person. Like, I'm just gonna play a deck that I know is good and won't make me look horrible on stream if it fails miserably. But no, I think the deck performed really well. And in game one, there was a spot where I thought that you had no chance, Clara. But then you came back. I mean, ultimately you ended up losing the game. But there was a spot in close to the end game where you managed to wipe all of Gabe's board, and I thought, well, we've got a real game here.
Yeah, I was hoping to get into more card draw in that space after clearing the board, starting anew, hoping for Clarabelle 3 or a 3-drop or 7-drop to refuel, or Maui Hofshark, but it was not there.
All right, and for Gabe, I guess I have one question, which is, how do you think that your deck compares matchup-wise to a more traditional Steel Song deck? Like, what are the advantages and disadvantages of playing this Mulan build?
I feel like it's a lot more polar. You're either gonna, it's close. You might know, like, every once in a great while you just have a terrible hand and you mull 7 and you get 7 songs. It actually hasn't. It's only happened once, and it was in a practice game. I was second seed. I lost in top 8 in a 1K with it, but it was less optimized. I only had 3 Kristoffs. I was playing Docs because I was trying to discard my hand more aggressively. I think a lot of matchups are more polarized. I think the matchup into red-blue is better than standard, and the matchup into green-steel is worse because you can't get rid of your songs. That's how I'd say. And then red-purple and blurple I feel are more favored than traditional. That's
interesting.
been what I've seen so far.
Yeah. Well, either way, I mean, that was a decisive win on your part, game. So congratulations. But also, Claire, congratulations on bringing a deck that made us go, wait a minute, can I do that? So both of you, thank you very much. So we'll do shout outs, Claire, before we say goodbye. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to do?
I want to say thank you for our Team 20 Lore Pro. You're bringing good stuff, and congrats to J-Bomb, and I can't wait to see how our last contestant in our group will do tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I know that 1-1 is always kind of sad because I'm in both of you, but it's this is what you want, right? It comes down to the last game. So, Gabe, over to you. Where can people follow you, and any kind of shout outs you'd like to give?
I don't have any socials, but shout out to Ken and inviting me to Sunflower Illumineers and all the players around Kansas City, Wichita, everywhere. Thank y'all.
I love it. Well, thank you both.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
I think we're done down here with the interviews. Let everyone else.
Yeah, we're done.
Mute. Okay, cool.
Can you hear me, Luke?
Yeah. You
All
said
right.
you've been chatting with Sailor. Is that on YouTube?
Yep, on YouTube. So I believe it's the main Team Maelstrom YouTube channel. I can't remember if it's like at Maelstrom HQ, but you'll be able to find it if you go to YouTube and search for Maelstrom. I believe in your ability. Yeah, we talk about the metagame there. Obviously on X, I'm at Bannable Harka. Maybe
Perfect.
one day I'll revive my YouTube channel, but I say that every time I come on here, and that never changes. So
Watch out around JDZ or Luke. Luke will do this where he's like, oh yeah, your new video's coming out next week. So just watch out if he corners you, then like you have to do it. It's like he'll bully you into productivity. So
I would just not do it.
that's true. What power does he have over you? That's a good point. So, well, thank you so much. I'll say goodbye too, and we're going to introduce our last two casters. We have the wonderfully talented Y Breezy and Red Rose.
We're back. Game
Hey.
3. Let's go.
Let's go.
That's the energy. That's the energy we need for game 3 here. That's exactly what we need. First of all, it's an honor to be on the booth with you for the first time. It is an honor and a pleasure. We're going to kick it. We're going to bring the energy up to that roof. And we're going to break that roof right off the ceiling because they need construction work. The economy. We're going to help the economy by blowing up the roof. So, game 3, everything on the line. Everything matters. As always in this game 3. Are you excited or what?
Mr. Breezy, you better believe I'm excited. Granted, I don't have the money to pay for a new roof, but that's okay. It's worth blowing it off anyway.
Some interest, Rod, no problem.
Exactly. Yeah. You take care of it. I'm hoping my original prediction stays true and that Sunflower takes this. Not that it really matters, but it's always fun when your prediction is right.
You're going 2-2. You win this out. You win the next game. You're 2-2. You're sitting at the perfect in the middle. That's not bad. You look back at the season, it's like, all right, we're bringing it back. And we got Knive, my former Lorcana After Dark co-host here. So it's going to be a little bit hard to not be biased against another cast in the ICL, Sasuke himself. A big fun matchup for us waiting.
Absolutely. And nothing ruins a bunch of data like spilling sauce all over it. So we'll see if that occurs, as well as Sasuke inks a white rose and puts out one of my favorite cards, which is the 1-drop purple Diablo, a card that you don't mind if it gets banished.
Absolutely. And I get a free draw out of it. I mean, nothing feels better than crashing that bird right into a thing to just draw an extra card, especially if it's in like a library. Oh my goodness, feels nothing better than that. And then we get a bird of our own, bird on bird action today. I know Knive is a big pigeon fan, so we might see these bird cawing all game long.
Absolutely. And so we saw an Iago goes in there, and currently the only deck that's commonly running Iago is the Ruby Amethyst Evasive version. So will that be this? We know now on Sasuke's part, as we see a Pete go into the Inkwell, that this is Amethyst Steel, as this Diablo will quest for 1, and we'll see if we follow up with anything from hand or just say, hey, back to you.
Just go. I mean, at turn 2, you gotta play. You want to play those Calhoun Smees. Get those curve on the board if you're an Amethyst Steel player. So not having that, not so great, but not end of the world, because as we see Emerald Bird get onto play, there's going to be a lot of birds in Knives deck. If I know him, which I do, there's going to be a lot of birds, and he is running quite a lot. I would have to bet on it, and we're going to see what he has. We got Friends, we got Strength, we got
Crab,
Genie, Crab.
Yeah.
So you got 2 options. You want to get rid of the draw or the damage.
If you have your own Diablo to shift, then I would get rid of the damage like he just did. If you didn't, maybe then you're happy taking the Friends, take away the card draw. Of course, he does have a rabbit, so he can always drop that as well. But no Diablo shift line. We just quest with our own Diablo. Man, Calhoun, you mentioned the Calhoun, and that's one of my favorite cards to see come down on turn 2 when you're playing it, because now you could threaten both of these characters, and then you're going to keep yours around, as Pete does come down as well. Says, hey, whatever you were planning next turn, no action, sir.
No actions, but you can see still got a lot of tools to get through. I mean, Amethyst has a lot of tools on turn 3, like the pesky fox if he's playing it. So there's options there. We have the classic crab right into stuff line if he needed to. Not in this situation. We got that Challenger Diablo, the additional bird into this bird heavy deck. I mean, the deck name is Birds. It's actually Bird, so keep that in mind, everybody.
Yeah. So Pete goes ahead and sings his Friends on the other side. The nice thing about this Diablo too is it can actually contest both cards on board, not just the 1-drop Diablo, but Pete, because it hits for 3. Yeah, it's going to take itself out, but you're okay if you're 2-drop.
That's a good trade all day.
Yeah.
That's a good trade all day. Get that Pete out. Make sure that you can't. I mean, avoiding that bounce is huge as well. The repeat action is going to be a huge headache if Knife here wants to draw some cards with Friends on the other side, potentially get into like sudden chill action. So that's going to be huge there.
Yeah, we have a pretty clean answer to this board just with what we can see. The Ursula can take out the small Diablo. The Diablo can trade into the Pete. That's just going to leave a rabbit. Or we can shift into our big Diablo here, and we're going to discard our Improvise, potentially sing a song. We could even challenge the little Diablo if we really wanted to. So we have a lot of reasons.
get some options out there. Usually in the Amethyst side, there's like the evasive is quite safe in this situation, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, and he
you
actually
doubt-
gives up his Ursula, which is a less valuable target now that it's already drawn a song, by powering it up with the crab. Doesn't even bother to challenge the other Diablo, just says, nah, I don't care, keep it around. As a matter of fact, the more cards you draw, the more I'm going to draw now. So we know earlier Sasuke did not have an answer to this shifted Diablo. We'll see
No
if he drew
Elsa's.
into one. Yeah.
No Elsa's right now. If he does draw it, then you got it. But if not, that Diablo is sitting cozy in its not cove, but just in its existence.
Oh,
We're just gonna
wow.
Zeus it away. I mean, lightning is very. Which Diablo Knife is asking 100% just to be extra. But we're gonna just lightning bolt away that bird through the power of Zeus himself.
Breezy, it's like watching a Monty Python sketch. Like you thought this was just a little rabbit and it went and it summoned a lightning bolt from the sky to just take you out.
Yeah, it looks tiny, but it is quite mighty as we get a fox, I believe, over there, and just sitting at 4/3 body on the floor. Just turn anything sideways. I got it. I'm gonna eat that alive.
Classic rabbit bounce, get ourselves some more card draw. Now, one thing about these decks, without the spot removal, they can struggle to deal with evasives, especially like Amethyst Steel. So this Fox normally, would be able to eat anything on this board, but it can't challenge a Genie. It can't challenge this Diablo. So
it's gonna sit there for a while, and that's not what he wants. Sasuke wants to do here. I mean, the lines with Knive here is quite interesting. We got so many evasives. He's running so many evasives with the package he's running. He's most likely running the we saw the Iago being inked. There's most likely the Elsa as well. I mean, the Genie we know we love. So like, there's so many targets that Sasuke can't answer, and that's gonna get crazy.
Yeah, the evasives are great. I am a little worried about Knive's hand size. He's already down to one card in hand. Potentially, maybe hoping that Diablo, the green shift one, would refill his hand a bit, but it's just not happening.
Yeah.
So the evasives are good though, so we can at least Genie can kind of put on some pressure.
Keep it on sideways.
Wouldn't mind a way to refill the hand a little bit. At least we have our little Diablo out there to help with that.
Yeah, just crash into something or just keep it questing and make your opponent answer it, because you kind of want to get through, like you said, one card in hand. If Sasuke can answer a lot of songs, then your hand is empty, your board is empty, you got nothing else to do, and then we get that's another removal option right there. Ooh, which one we're targeting?
I would target the dual ink. There's no, and they won't get a draw. Yeah, there you go. You get rid of evasive. You don't have the threat of it challenging the Fox, and then they don't get the card draw off of it. So I think that was pretty perfect. As we have another one. Storm Rage on.
Just boom, boom. That is. And then we're just gonna put 2 on to Genie, making sure that if you get that, also we can just take care of it.
Is it a third one? It is a third.
I mean, sometimes you just got. Sometimes you just got all of them. You're dealing with all the stuff, and you have no problems with it. And Sasuke got it. Sasuke got it like that.
Sasuke, big fan of Elsa there, as he just sang and sang and sang and sang, and data curator over there is like, okay, I get it. Jeez, you don't have to take out 2 things on my board for that.
That's all 3 though. But that's all you need. You drew 3 cards. You got rid of two important characters off the board. And that's fantastic. If you can just keep off the pressure here, gotta go ahead and oh my god, that's off the top. Absolutely everything we are wanting in Knives Corner is happening. He's drawing more cards, getting more options. Yeah, you got rid of some cards, but I'm gonna bring those back, and you're gonna keep struggling because you ran out of 3 of your incredible removal tools.
Yeah, it was a good turn for Sasuke because that Genie can help race ahead on lore, but Knife just punching back perfectly with both the friends and the Genie. It doesn't feel good, but I wonder if it's the right call to send the Fox into the crab here just to get another body off the board as we drop a rabbit. We'll draw into 1, but we're gonna need a Zeus. I don't think we're gonna have enough Storm Rage on now to take out this Genie.
Shutterbox followers here, a great.
Can we get to a strength? With 4 bodies on board?
No, like you said, trade away. Get rid of it. Stop this lore per turn situation going on. Stop the action so you can catch up and refill your own hand with your 1-drops here.
Knive was not foolish enough to give the crab challenge to Sasuke's Diablo to then allow him to trade in. You never know. You can always ask him. It is technically a mandatory trigger. So
just a friendly, be like, you're gonna be nice and give it to me or not? Right. Okay, like, just making sure. Just making sure.
I want to help you draw cards. I just wanted to get you another card in your hand. Why not?
Just extra friendly questions you gotta ask away. And then we find an Elsa off.
Elsa's a good one.
That is great option. What are we getting rid of?
It's gotta be Chernabog, right? I mean,
avoid that draw.
Yeah.
Avoid that draw all day.
Yeah, you have to stop him from getting that. Plus, you can't. The Elsa alone couldn't finish off the rabbit. So,
and then
there's our shift Diablo.
Find the shift here. Get our hands moving and active, and we're gonna quest for 3 here. Get to 9. Ooh, this is a huge turn for Knive. He's able to get the Elsa out, play the Diablo, and we saw 3 Storm Rage on, 1 Zeus away. So that Diablo is gonna be a little bit more headache unless he finds another song. It looks like.
And this is 3 evasives on the field as another. And then along came Zeus comes down. But Breezy, who do you hit here? Do you take out the Diablo for the card draw, or do you try to slow down the lore with the genie? Because he's already at 9 lore.
The 5 damage, yeah. The genie
goes
is just
for the genie.
Because Diablo is. And then we have Dalsa.
Oh, okay. We just have
it. We just no problem. It didn't matter. The answer was we got it regardless. We have it all. And the second Zeus, 3 Storm Rage on. That's a lot of things that Sasuke wanted to find in this matchup right here.
Yeah, Sasuke has been able to answer. I keep thinking, oh no, this is looking bad. This is looking bad, and just keeps bouncing back. Saying, it's all right, I got it. That's all right, I got it. No big deal.
That's all. That's gonna be a situation. And don't want to give too much spoilers, but there is there is no there's nothing else we can do here. The songs, he's only running 3 Let the Storm Rage on, so he found them all. He found them all already, and that's tough. That's really tough. If you're our Knive, but we still have a little bit of cards in our hand, so we could kind of come back like we did last couple of turns. So maybe Knive can just bounce back like he did a few turns ago, and then we see another Fox bounce also, which is a great little thing to do, and then take care of that rabbit here, and then have the Elsa in your hand whenever you have an annoying evasive or anything that you want to get rid of on the spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think you want to trade Elsa into the 5. Maybe you do. Maybe you just want to get rid of it. Now it says, nah, you can't attack me anyway. I'm the evasive one. Let me get a couple more card draws in my hand. Yeah, for the first time in this game, that last turn by Knive was the first time that they really slowed down and just was like, hold on, I need to think this through. Whereas earlier it was just like, let me just jam all these cards out.
Yeah. This is gonna be an interesting situation, and we're gonna go ahead and play.
Doc? I can't quite.
I'm not 100% tell. Sure it's a little bit ahead of the screen there, but I think that's a Smee, unless he just didn't want to draw with the Doc there.
Yeah, sorry, folks at home. I just can't really.
No, that is definitely a Smee there. That is definitely a Smee, and that is a.
Yeah, what's that card in the right next to Rabbit now?
Magic Broom, I think.
Maybe, yeah, and maybe
it looks like a Magic Broom. It looks like a Magic Broom. So you play the 1 drop. You play. You kind of got wide and say you got to deal with me now. You did all the going wide stuff. I was able to get rid of it because I had 5 songs that really made you sad. So now you don't have those things that I had with the steel. So deal with me, and that's going to be challenging for him to do.
And a purple green deck like this, it doesn't have any big board control. The only way it can answer your characters is through challenging. It doesn't really even have any spot removal actions or songs. So going wide is very effective against decks like these because it says, hey, you're going to have to slowly peel off all these characters.
We do have an Elsa in our hand from the bounce.
Yeah.
So that could exert one of the options and just take care of the Fox. But then you are... we're just going to go ahead and draw here as well, which is always needed. There's some time here, and then we're going to see Ursula here say, get rid of a song, please. You played so many. Do you have another one?
It's every Merlin and Mim.
Nah, these 2 snakes is kind of nice.
2 snakes, a goat, a rabbit. Yeah, so we're just showing, hey, I'm just going to be doing some bounce shenanigans. Some good old set 2 bounce shenanigans, if you don't mind.
And then we're just going to pass right here as we can't challenge the Elsa. We can't do anything else. And it's just a Saturn to pass there. And he's going to quest away. And telling Knive essentially, you know what's in my hand. I'm entering goat zone. Are you prepared for this? And Knive might not be super prepared.
Actually does the snake first. I'm guessing we're going to bounce the rabbit. So favoring the card draw. I kind of liked what you were hinting at, though. I think at this point you can just turn it into pure goat power. They're not running a pirate's life. They have no way to slow it down. So with a goat and 2 snakes, that's what, 6 lore on its own, not to mention any characters. So
yeah, so I mean, it's definitely a little bit of safer slow down the action route. Like instead of winning in turn, you're going to go ahead and try to win in 2, kind of guaranteed a little bit more hand, because then now you can go wide again. Play to go, you still have the bounce options, so you have more options going to the next turn rather than like this is it. So this is definitely a route that we can do. We're just gonna go ahead and ink and play. I mean,
double 1 drop. Okay, just going wide. I was going to say I was
a
little worried for the goat because we know he has the Elsa, so the Fox could take it out. But again, when your board's this wide, you're saying I don't need to do that. I don't need to goat bounce to get victory from you. You still have to answer all these characters.
And they're all non-exerted, so there's not much in Knive's arsenal to get rid of any of these other than that Elsa. But it only gets rid of 1, And with the other snake in hand, there's going to be quite a bit of annoying situation where we get rid of the goat, so no more bouncing, but there's still so much you have to get rid of, and if you don't, there's like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's a really tough situation for
4 on board. You go to 18,
and then.
And you can't. I mean, you can't challenge the also it's just genie. That doesn't do anything. So I'd almost have to say just quest yourself, and maybe you can sneak out some kind of like surprise lore win. I probably not, but you got to try for it.
Yeah, I mean, because like he's gonna be able to just play whatever he wants with 8 ink and get to a point where you're gonna go quest 1, 2, 3, 4, 18. So all you need is just like a SME and something else, and look at your opponent and just deal with it. And he's gonna go ahead and draw, see if he can find something. Go to 18 exact and see if he can just bounce something or get White Rose in. And
we have instant lore. Yeah, that's game. And just replay it.
Should be just game on spot, and we are entering game 2. I mean,
wow,
that's fast. That's what
buddy Steven would say, Mr. Breezy. That was the proverbial all gas, no brakes kind of hand. Like, there was not a dead turn for Sasuke there. It was just hit this.
He got it all.
Yeah, and even when Knive like looked like, okay, look, I put out all these threats, you've got to answer them. He said, oh yeah, that's no problem. Here's 3 Storm Rage on and 1 turn. Don't mind if I do. Like,
he found it all though. He did found all of them. I mean, that turn was so crucial. Like playing those 3, let the Storm Rage on, getting a Diablo Genie. Those are huge cards. And alongside with it, you drew 3 cards out of it, and Knive did not.
Yeah.
So really, really advantageous for Sasuke. He's able to establish the tempo, take it over, and take the game to the victory line.
It kind of seemed like Sasuke just drew the nuts there, but looking back on it, do you think there was anything Knive could have done differently, or was that kind of just out of?
I mean, it's one of those things where your opponent just had the answer that you hoped they did not. They found 2 Zeuses too. Like those are big. Like like a little bit of information. Like they're running 3 of each, and they found 3 Let the Storm Rage on and 2 Stone.
Yeah.
So like that's,
and you scouted, right? You scouted with the Ursula to look for that.
Yeah, he got rid of 1. You feel good, and then they draw all of them back to back to back, and then it's just like, well, what am I supposed to do then? Like, because you didn't know they were there, and it's just one of those games where Sasuke was able to find the answer, but he did it through the ability of drawing so many cards, which is Amethyst is so incredibly well to be able to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And those steel songs too, that's always been the power of Storm versus Strength. Obviously Strength can hit a higher damage threshold and it's inkable, which is nice, but Storm has that card draw attached to it. And in a turn like that, it worked out perfectly.
When they find each other, it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just you do it and you did 6 damage, drew 3 cards. If that was written in a card, you're playing all of them. So
yep. If Knive can get the Diablo opening in game 2, I think that will be really strong. There shouldn't be any way for Sasuke to answer that unless there's a Fire the Cannons that we haven't seen yet, or a Baboom. So you probably
those
have
spicy techs. We've seen them around, so maybe, but the odds are, I don't know. That's a very spice into a matchup that you have only 1 shot to, like, if they run into the Diablo matchup, they got it. So in ICL, it's a little bit different. Like, is that something you want to run? Just hoping, oh, I might run into Diablo, but
because then if you see red blue, you're like, well, this will do nothing.
This is nothing.
Yeah.
Especially if you play Fire the Cannons, then it's just essentially a dead card in your hand. Yeah. You're just like, oh, this is gonna rot here in my hand.
Well, that Tipo, I'll show him. I'll teach him a lesson.
It'll make JDZ happy though. If he gets to Fire the Cannons on T-Pose, he'll be excited. Right. So we got to do it for that at least. But yeah, game 2, Knive has to essentially set up that Diablo and hope it doesn't get just struck by Zeus himself. Even Zeus hates Diablo apparently.
Yeah. Although if your opponent has to spend 4 on Zeus, that feels a lot more manageable than if they're just singing it with a rabbit, which is what we saw last time.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm hopeful that it looks different for Knive being on the play, establishing their tempo a lot faster, because that's what the deck wants to do. They want to establish a board state where they're going fast, they're going in an evasive route, and we just got the Diablo on turn 1.
And the exact same opening, we even inked the Iago for it. So inked the Iago, which Iago we never got to see last game. So I don't know if there's a pan shadow aspect to this where the Iago will have rush, or if it's just a body that's going to come down and be, a big bird
that's
body.
Such a good curve though. That's such a back to back. You get rid of anything you want essentially with a 4/6 body, even without getting any song sang on it for the banish. We just see the Diablo sing to this. Now we're getting there. Now the birds are chirping. We're flying
Right.
high. We're getting through it, and we're just moving forward. That's exactly what Knife wants to do. See that Diablo, draw more cards, get more actions, get more stuff that.
And a Ursula to scout. It's crazy, Breezy. He used 6 ink, friends on the other side, and a 3-cost Diablo, and he hadn't even used his ink for turn yet.
The power of the birds, really. And then we get rid of that pesky Storm the Rage on. Get out. Don't touch my bird, he said.
Right?
Get out of here. No more bird attacks. I'm done.
My bird needs clear skies. We need open skies to be able to fly through
Unless
here.
he tops it, I mean, again, he is essentially able to turn that bird sideways one more time, even if there's an answer for it. So that is still great for Knife. The Diablo draws 1 or 2. I mean, 2 cards. We're balling.
Yeah,
and
well, and I was going to say, if Sasuke used the broom effect here, it would just feed the Diablo even more. So opts not to is like, no, I can't give you another card. I need to try to get to turn 3, draw into another storm, or strength something, so I can take this bird out.
And I think he's setting up kind of that if he doesn't have an answer, but like it's tough. We saw the hand, and oh my god, we're saying friends only this side twice.
More friends.
Woo! Diablo is getting Knives' hand big and wide. It's gonna go, and then we're gonna get sudden chill. Getting rid of a magic broom here. Everything is kind of going Knives' way in the early turns here.
And no ink spent yet. We just sang all those songs.
And then another Diablo part 2. Go. The birds are singing for Knife this game. Going first here is the huge difference. That bird is extra safe. It can't be sung away that fast. That Ursula gets rid of the potential threats right away. And that difference for Knife is making a huge. And then we see one right here, but he has the hard play, meaning that's kind of the turn, and that doesn't feel so great.
I'm assuming Sasuke got that off of the Chernobog because he actually popped the Chernobog. So he's going to give Diablo 2 more draws, 1 off the Chernobog and 2 from the Storm Rage on resolving. The Diablo sees that card draw, so it still gets to draw. Oh my! So this Diablo between 2 friends has drawn like what, 8 cards?
Yeah,
8 cards.
Knife's hand is massive right now, just from the one Diablo, and now there's a second one.
There's a second one.
Deal with. Oh man, and Sasuke got rid of 2 Let the Storm Rage on, 1 from the discard, 1 just getting the Diablo. So now it's gonna a little bit more problematic for him as Knife's hand is so big. He has all the things he can do moving forward with this game.
It's like that old Aesop fable of the tail of the billy goat's gruff. It's like, well, my bigger brother's gonna come along here in a second, and this is what the other Diablo is. It's like, hey, you picking on my buddy here?
What could be worse is a 3rd Diablo, which
I know.
Knife 100% has, and you're just gonna go ahead and challenge the broom, sudden chill it away. Now your opponent has limited cards. They have to find answers, and your Diablo drew you 8 cards. So Knife's hand is big, and Sasuke's is not.
Another sudden chill.
Prince John would have been crazy to find, but we did not see it here. And we're gonna go ahead and play the dual ink Diablo for the challenger if anything does go sideways. But chances are not. Like we can see a fox. Oh wow, that's the 3rd one.
He did find it.
Wow, 6 Let the Storm Rage ons in 2 games. I mean, granted, Sasuke was able to play 5 of them, but that's still a lot of damage and a lot of cards for themselves.
That's it. He needed that right then and there, because I was going to say Knives saw the kind of crack draw that Sasuke had last game and said, that looks pretty good. I'm going to try some of that myself.
And let's see if it's still good. Like the Diablos did their job at that point. They
absolutely.
So many cards, and we're gonna go ahead and see what they have. They only have 2 cards with a Pete and a rabbit. That kind of feels good for Knife. That feels a little safe, but we got to go ahead and get something else on the board. Make sure we can go ahead and we just have it.
Diablo.
We just have it. Diablo is so safe here, knowing that there's nothing else for them to do unless they just draw like a Zeus, but that's a bad turn to do as well at that point. They're just going to go ahead and quest. It's safe to quest.
I don't care about your little Diablo. And actually, Yabrizi, Sasuke missed ink last turn. He didn't want to give up the Pete. He obviously had the rabbit for the other card. And, oh, man, just... And Rabbit says, you're going to draw? Don't mind if I do. More for me.
The Rabbit here and the opposite side of the Diablo does not feel so great because, you're refilling your hand, but your opponent's getting more pesky birds, more annoying things that you got to deal with, and you are depleted of options as you got rid of all your Storm Rages on, and now you're going to rely on the Rage and the Zeus, which... not the best.
Well, and so this is for players who find Diablo frustrating to play against, myself included. This is one of the annoying things about it, is that you have to find an answer, but in order to find an answer, you have to draw cards, which is just feeding it. So it's kind of like it's punishing you for looking for an answer to it.
Yeah, it's one of those cards like you have to answer, but if you try to look for the answers, you're giving your opponent answers for your answers, and that's a whole cycle of thing you don't want to get into. Because
Knife gives a little. Go ahead.
Like he finds like the sudden chills through it. You see, he finds all the discards from it too. So yeah, you drew so many cards, but he can get rid of them for you, and he keeps the cards.
Yeah,
it's just the power of Diablo as we're seeing into this game. He's gonna be able to go ahead and trigger off the Diablo, and then we're gonna storm.
We got the strength.
Oh, the strength. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay. But yeah, because we can't sing these, and we're having to use our whole ink pool for them. I mean, that's the majority of our turn.
And our hand is empty, I believe.
It is.
Oh man, yeah, we do have the Diablo if you get the draw, and the rabbit if it gets banished, but like Knife has to have answers here. Knife has to have options. Knife has to have things to do with all those card draw with Diablo was able to offer for him.
Oh, and just on the board, we know Crab can take out Rabbit, Ursula can take out Diablo if we want. And now the only good thing for Sasuke is that Knife is not putting on a lot of lore pressure, but doing a lot of drawing, a lot of hand sculpting, a hand manipulation against our opponent. But we're only on 6 lore, so it's not like we're way out of this. There is a chance as we go to 8 now.
We get to 8, make sure. I mean, and then we got the Iago. Ooh. Iago's a huge
not enough
thing
birds.
Here. It's like, I got all the birds. You can't get rid of all my birds. And Iago's huge here because you have to do something against it. If not, it's a 4/6 evasive that you just going to let it eat the board.
And you know when you're challenging with your 0/1 Diablo that you're not in a good spot.
Not a good time. And then we're gonna hope we find things as we empty out our board. We drew a bunch of cards through our 1-drops, which is nice, but we have to find something to get on board, and we're gonna find a Pete say no actions for you and a Smee, which
that's okay.
That's okay. We're kind of clawing back.
Yeah. Not amazing given the spot we're in, but also there wasn't you're in a bad spot, so there wasn't really any knockout card you were going to get there anyway.
And that dual ink Diablo is just looking at those two characters with its beak wide open to say, turn sideways. I'm ready. Let's do it.
Ooh,
then we're going to
creaky
and just go ahead and quest off into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get to 13 and just establish Crickies with the 3. Get to 8, say you have to deal with it, do something about it. And 2 of them are evasive, so your only options are the Ursulas, which is what he's gonna do here. But like that, you wasted.
That doesn't feel good.
It just doesn't feel good. Now you given and then we got his
Zeus for the Cricky. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. But you just that's your entire turn. Your turns are just catching up, hoping you can stop him. But Knife is just constantly putting pressure on and on and on. The birds are flocking, and Sasuke is running out of options.
Yeah, and there's no be prepared. There's no board control, so you can just go as wide as you want. And now your opponent has to answer everything you're doing. So this is looking very secure for Knives. It'll be quite impressive if Sasuke can turn this one around.
Let's see if he can. But Knife has been able to manage his hand the whole game so perfectly that he's just that's an
interesting.
Get rid of the Pete here. Sure, and then we get rid of the Smee, empty out the board, and just get those free quests off the way. Get to 15, which isn't game on next turn, but it's really looking really nice for Knife here.
As we hit another Along Came Zeus, probably going to get rid of the Iago. Knives paying way more respect to Sasuke's board than I would have thought there. Like, I think Knives could have absolutely just quested out, but saying, nope, I just want to make very sure that you don't have a board to be able to challenge back into me. And it looks like
I think
that's going to scoop it up.
I think we're just wrapping up. But the PJ is just nothing you can do about that card on an 18 lore count there. So we're going to get game 3, a fast couple of games here, really fast. I mean, the ability to both of these decks to kind of just decide which tempo goes which way, and it was the key to victory for Knife here, as Sasuke just couldn't answer all of those answers, even though he found he found 2 storms, he found he found all of them. He found 2 Zeuses, I believe, and so it's just one of those things. It was not enough. If he went to go first, maybe that would have been enough, but
Yeah, that felt like a reverse of game one, where I don't think Sasuke made any misplays or did anything wrong, but Knive just had the cracked opening and just saw every single thing. Yeah, double. Well, that's the thing too, right? When you sing 2 friends with that Diablo, plus any draws you've taken from them, by the time they hit you with Storm, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You've gotten rid of it. It's drawn you. I think it drew 8 cards. Like total. That's insane.
8 cards from a 3-cost bird. That's profit all
that
day.
you didn't pay for, even technically.
Yeah, you just discarded one of the cards. I mean,
he's plus 7. Yeah, if you count the discarded card, it was a plus 7. I think I'd take that. I think I'd take a whole opening hand worth of
That's
cards.
a good deal. But let's see if Sasuke can find those answers like he did find in game 1, game 2. Going on the play this time is going to be a huge difference here, and he is. The altering method is so different for everyone. So people put it down, people don't put it down. It's always a fun little game, but I believe he is altering 5 here.
And we've seen the power of the play draw disparity on full display here. We're going first. So if that holds true, Sasuke is going to take this one home for 20 lore pro. But if Knives can break that pattern, then Sunflower Illumineers are going to walk away with a 2-1.
This is going to be huge. This is going to be huge. What are some things that, like, Knive has to just hope Sasuke just doesn't find those storms, doesn't find Strength of Raging Fires. They don't find it, but there are plenty. So let's see if Knive can the birds can dodge away from those. I don't know what the thing that storm, like, is it like a little frost line? Like, what
I guess
is it?
so. Yeah, I think it's her, like, it's the line, let the storm rage on, and so she's like throwing out her ice powers, is what I think it's supposed to be.
So it's like a snow blizzard thing.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So we're throwing some blizzards at the birds, we're throwing lightning bolts at them, we're throwing a bunch of karate kicks at them.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, we gotta hope those we find them and get rid of those birds right away.
If they ever had an online client for this game, that'd be a funny thing to see visualized. You use strength and just a bunch of like karate kicks coming.
That'd be amazing. It'd be great if like it came out of the characters of your shot little karate guys at the character.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, because it was for each character, so each one gets a turn in and kicks them.
That'd be so funny. Will they do it one day? We'll see.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Little frost line thing.
Yeah, just
the frost magic, whatever. Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great. Little ice effect on the cards.
I've always thought that'd be funny too if they have like voice lines while we're waiting for them to start here. As we ink 1-cost Diablo for Diablo.
We're seeing a lot of that turn 1. We saw a lot of that on turn 1 in the first 2 games. As we see if Knive can find his own 1-drop Diablo here.
Oh, he inked Cricky. So for the 3rd game in a row, he opened small Diablo, but he did not ink an Iago to support it, so couldn't get the full 3 for 3. That would have been quite impressive.
Yeah. I mean, Cricky gotta get rid of it. It's too late. It's too far in the future. Even though that card on the draw is quite nice to be able to answer the answer and kind of get the board state back into your favor. So, but it is a 5-drop, so get rid of it. Maybe you find the other ones and take over there. But our Diablo shift line is wide open. Can we find it? Or we're just going to go ahead and quest and go for 2 here with the snake. Bounce it back. Okay. Not too bad.
Nice. Very nice. Won't be able to threaten the Diablo, but just says, or at least the shifted Diablo, obviously can take this one out pretty nicely. We're going to have Ursula. Yep. Ursula to scout. Let's see. Okay. All right. Checking the way, boss. Let's see. She's using her binoculars. Is the way clear? Holy songs, Batman.
Friends. Uh-oh. Oh, man. That's
tough. Gotta take the strength. No. Goes for friends. So we must not have the shift line, right? Because there's no way you would leave the strength there.
Right. I mean, if you did, then you're just letting your bird essentially go to discard immediately. So I definitely a choice there. With the idea of we don't have the Diablo, we're just gonna be able to stop our opponent from drawing so many cards.
Yeah, technically too, I'm assuming we didn't have the shift line, but if you did, you could have actually left the strength still because your opponent only has 1 card on board.
That's true.
And they can't cast it that turn and add another body, so they would still at least need a whole nother turn.
That's true, but I mean, at that point, you let that bird unleashed, right? You saw the Ursula, but it signals to me Knive don't got that big bird, but who knows? He has the bird powers. Might he just be able to draw it off the top, or he was able to wait it out here? We shall see.
I'm curious why Sasuke didn't quest with the snake. Like the only thing that can really threaten it this turn is if you bounce and send it into the fox. But
That's
me personally, I'm always okay if you want to send a 3-cost into my 2-cost and they trade.
Okay, I mean that's we found an Ursula too. So we got rid of 2 friends on the other side, kind of emptying out our opponent's hand size quite a bit there. But it doesn't matter because
Crab's gonna find some friends.
That's a third friends. That is
Yeah.
he found a third.
He's a lot of friends. This is a social butterfly here, folks. This man has a lot of friends.
Sasuke's hitting up all his friends, getting all the card draw he needs, even though the 2 was off his hand. And we're gonna go ahead and White Rose it. White Rose, one of those cards, just give that extra allure. It's a 3/3 body that you have to kind of respect too.
Yeah. Yeah, it can sing, it can beat you down. See, and that was an instance if there was a client with voice lines, you would have heard, and I've got friends, and I've got friends, I've got friends. It just like
All
keeps
the friends. Little voodoo doll that runs around.
Yeah, oh, that'd be so funny.
Give me a little voodoo doll playmat mate thing. It'd be great. It'd be great.
One of the best plays you can do in purple, we have the Crab power up the 1-cost Diablo, so now it not only trades with a character, you of course get the benefit because you're drawing a card, so that feels great. We ink a green-purple Diablo and pass, so definitely a slower game than we saw from the first 2. It doesn't seem like either player had like the cracked opening they had. In those.
Yeah. With no shift line Diablos, Knive is taking a little bit of okay. We have to deal with the opponent's board. We have to respect what they have before we can start pushing the gas pedal. So he's been able to do that quite well in this game with only a White Rose and a Snake on board, which are a little annoying bodies. But with Crab, you can trade one, get rid of it if you want to kind of control that board state for Knive here.
Yeah, I think it was wrong to not quest with Snake earlier, but here you do have to be a little careful because if you exert both it and the Rose, like you said, Crab can run into Snake, and then you can send the baby Diablo or Ursula into the Rose.
Let's see which song he has here. He's definitely going to sing a. I mean, we got rid of 3 friends. If he sees the 4th one,
we've got the strength. So probably taking out Diablo. We want to shut off the shift line, is what my guess would be.
Yeah, I mean, it's still an awkward. It's just an awkward choice there. You know, it's like you're putting in. I mean, if you have a doc, never mind. You got to do what you got to do.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
The 1-drop Diablo is like then the Crab doesn't get to do its thing as greatly. So
well, and now that we have that, I think I'm more okay exerting the Snake at this point because if he wants to trade his board essentially for yours, you're kind of like, okay, that's fine.
Oh, and bounce back the dog here. No, now Sasuke can just refill the hand right back up.
Yeah,
with that incredible bounce fox here.
Doc putting on his best bunny ears and trying to do his best Merlin Rabbit impression.
It's like, I'm one of you guys. I'm like Merlin. It's fun. Right? I got the beard. I got the weird hat. We're just like no one's gonna notice.
I draw 2, right? You bring me down 1, 2 cards.
Yeah. See, the rabbit, Doc, Merlin. I get them confused all the time. So the Madam Mim probably does the same.
Doc's at a meeting. He's like, I love carrots. They're great. So it looks like we are going to see that play. We'll send Crab into. It doesn't really matter. You can go whatever order, but essentially, Crab will take out 1, power up the Ursula. Ursula will trade with the others. And so now you are left with a single purple Diablo on board. Make that a Diablo and a Peter Pan Shadow Finder. And our opponent has a Fox.
Peter Pan here. Now you kind of enable yourself into a Iago line. There's things you can do here. That Peter Pan's being like very relevant in this meta. Has been so fascinating to watch that and unlock so many things as we see at Chernobog's followers and the Doc back on action. He put the mouse, he put the bunny ears, he's jumping, he's hooping, he's bouncing around as we go ahead and play it back, draw 2 cards. What a nice little thing the Amethyst Steel package can do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Normally, Fox is like one of the safest questers in the game. The things I'm always looking out for is a Maui and an Iago that can be rushed by Peter Pan. So,
and then we're just gonna get that free, kind of free. We don't know if there's an Elsa on hand, but kind of a free quest here. And now we established our Diablo as well, putting our evasives on the board, being like, "Hey, man."
Still pretty free because if there's Elsa, you got to hit the Diablo most likely. So I'm assuming we're going to hit the Diablo. Yep.
Yeah. we just got it. Like every time Diablo enters the board, Sasuke is able to just say, you either get frozen or struck by lightning. And it's just been really tough for Knive whenever he has that Diablo action. The only game that it didn't happen was game 2, and we saw how that went.
Yeah, and that's major inclement weather for that Diablo. And you can see the difference between that early Diablo last game and one that comes out on turn 6 or 7. Like 6 or 7 is way easier to deal with, especially when it doesn't get to exert right away.
Trade out that Diablo with the Fox. What an incredible little play you get to do. You draw a card. That's such a huge advantage. And then we're going to go ahead and get rid of the followers, making sure our opponent can't draw so many cards there. I'm gonna just get the Challenger Diablo into a rush.
Actually, has rush. That's pretty good.
Nice little turn here from Knive. Is that making all those evasive rush and stuff like that just gets so advantageous real quick now with a Doc on board only with 2 cards in hand.
Peter Pan showing off his power.
Ooh.
I do wonder why Sasuke didn't banish the Chernobog, because it's not like it was forced to be exerted by Knive. Like he could have banished it for a draw. So I don't know if he's trying to bait out an attack or what the reasoning for that was.
I mean, maybe, but like it just wasn't. You want to draw because you see a Peter Pan on board, and you've seen what Knive has been running, which is all the birds, and they're all giving rush. So I'm not too sure there that's kind of saying I don't want the extra draw, and we're just gonna go quest because we know it's kind of safe for our birds in the air.
And Sasuke doesn't have a lot of cards, so we're gonna have to find a spot removal for these evasives. Again, we haven't seen a card yet that lets us challenge evasives other than I think the Elsa.
Knive, Sasuke is gonna quest the dog here, bounce it back. I mean, being able to bounce it back again and again and again has been quite efficient. Even though Sasuke has drawn 2 with the friends and 4 with the dog, it just hasn't been like it hasn't felt like that much a card advantage because Knife is able to answer constantly.
Yeah.
Let's see what we do here. Let's see, as the Knife gets a draw with the turn. Let's see. Now it's gonna get a little interesting here because we can get rid of the
Iago's the scariest thing because it can challenge without getting banished itself, whereas right now at least, well, the crab can take out the rabbit,
and then the Iago could just take out the
Pete if we wanted to.
Well. But
there's that Iago.
That's exactly what we're gonna find. That the Iago is going to be really annoying to deal with because would you want to get rid of a song out of it and keep it alive and we get sudden chill? Prince John's going to draw a card. Things are kind of moving around for now. The birds are doing the chirping. The Iago is a huge scary. It's a 4/6 rush, and that's a good card when the Peter Pan's out.
Wow, we gave up the Elsa. That's kind of surprising because this Peter Pan's putting in work right now, and Elsa would be a way to answer that card.
Yeah,
it's one of our only few answers to it. So we must really value what we have in hand. If we gave up the Elsa, maybe we have a second one, or maybe we just have some spot removal.
Maybe either way, it's getting rid of the Elsa in a matchup with covered in evasive is just always a rough decision.
So we're gonna quest for 3, which usually means it's time for be prepared, except we're in the wrong colors. So
if we squint our eyes really tight, maybe we can just pretend like it. But we get a rabbit here and a Pete. So we're kind of going wide here. We're at 11, so we kind of can do this, making Knive answer it all the time. But Knive does have like an Iago and the Diablo, which is a challenger as well. So tough.
Yeah, I'm guessing Sasuke is trying to race him because otherwise, why expose your characters like this when again you can still make favorable trades. Diablo and your Iago can take out these cards and still stick around.
Genie also has a rush, by the way.
Yeah,
it draws a card. It draws a card. It's a 2/4 rush. It does things and it's fantastic.
I mean, you can send the Genie into the opposing Diablo.
Yeah.
You can have your Diablo take out the Doc. You'll have to give up 1 card for the Fox, but other than that,
yeah, it's still good though. I mean, we're gonna Doc out of the Iago here, and
looks like crab for Fox. And we're really controlling the board. Again, our opponent doesn't have that beep. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was right, or if Sasuke maybe should have been patient. But maybe Sasuke is thinking if this goes on too long, I'm just going to end up losing anyway, so I need to put on the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, now Knives is in a good position here. Now he has a lot of lore on board as well, a lot of problem cards that Sasuke has to deal with them. We're going to go ahead and go it out. Maybe we have the bounce here.
Yeah, are we getting to that bounce range?
We're going to get to 14. Yeah, I think that's a bounce city right now. Yep, we got the snake here. Okay, now that explains why we decided to do that. We got the turn and putting Knife in a really awkward position where you have to answer everything and hope you can get the goat.
Yeah.
Not bounce again. It's a tough spot.
So if we can't answer the Chernobog or the snake, that put us at 17. Goat would be 18, 19. We would need 1 more.
And White Rose, a card that exists as well.
Yeah, that's true. And other goats.
It's going to get quite tight. Maybe like there's a couple of cards in Sasuke's hand.
Yeah, so Knife definitely would like some discard right now. It's a way to just rip the goat out of hand. Yeah, we need at least 2. Perhaps a hair risky for Sasuke to put out the Chernobogs. It puts on the lore pressure and the card draw pressure, which is great. But if we can get a double discard, you're going to be wishing you held that.
Yeah.
But also knowing your opponent was only on 1 card in hand before this, right? Saying, hey, let's see, what can you draw into that's going to get you that? Genie hits the Pete.
And
Fox.
the Fox.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
why.
sure.
Questing here might have been a
replay the genie. Wouldn't it have just made more sense to quest?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we
Oh,
got the
he
rush,
wants
I
to-
guess.
Huh.
We got the rush. We're gonna give our opponent the draw from the rabbit here and go ahead and quest.
So the reason we did that is we wanted to keep our board size, whereas
Mhm.
otherwise we would have had to sacrifice another character. If we
because
settle
we
this
have
way.
1, 2, 4. We have exactly Lorthal. That's
7,
why.
8. Yeah. So we're telling
that's
your
why.
opponent either you need to challenge me or you need to find a way to win this turn. I don't think Sasuke can quite win this turn, even with a goat.
So now we're at 17. You gotta.
And now Snake can eat up Prince John pretty easily. So
But,
that's a pretty good trade.
But you don't get the quest, and that's
Right.
the thing.
And then
'cause
you're
then now
slowing
you
down.
and now your Snake is vulnerable, and you have a lot of options to get rid of it. And it's not going to feel too bad because Knive is playing catch up regardless.
Yeah.
So making your opponent have to answer you instead of good to the push the 19 and just try to get a White Rose off the top. He has to answer at this point, knowing that kind of gives us Sasuke just didn't have the 20.
Yeah. 4, 5, 6. We'll go to 6, or we have 6 on board. We'd go to 18. I don't think we've seen any instant lore on Knives' side, right? We haven't seen a goat or a rose, or this is my family, or any of those cards.
No, we have not. I don't think he's running any of that stuff in his bird pile. We're
And
gonna
he actually challenges with the Chernobog. Or no, wait, hold on.
What?
Yeah, Knives started moving the fox as if the Chernobog was challenging, and Sasuke's in a
Wait a
bad
minute.
spot if he's challenging with the Chernobog.
Yeah, those are when you make bad decisions at that point. With
Yeah.
just gonna go ahead and
Quest and draw.
Hope we see something here. That's 4. That's the goat. I believe
that's goat.
Let's
17.
Go. 17. We can bounce it back.
Or rose.
8. Oh.
Okay. What do you want to hit here? Genie? Probably
Genie.
Yeah, take off the lore
2
pressure.
lore. Get to draw a card as well. I mean, it's a very nice little turn for it. We get rid of the Snake here.
Ink
Play the
friends. Okay, and put down a
We got-
Chernobog saying, I'm just going to put as much lore pressure on the board, which the Snake's an easy take. If we don't have a way to bounce the goat.
Yeah. I mean, there's a fun little. We don't talk about Bruno that we saw get inked.
Yeah.
We can go a little crazy and gamble.
We can find an Elsa. That's the easy way to enter Chernobogs. You could even take the goat out. Doesn't look like an Elsa to me though. It looks like Diablo.
It's 5 right on the spot, and yeah, that's Bruno.
There's the Bruno. Okay, doesn't want to do the goat. Doesn't want to potentially give him an extra lore, and then
let's see. We got to get rid of like a snake, like a thing that bounces, right?
Yeah.
Like just an annoying thing that will get him to.
Oh, what's it gonna? Is it gonna be Chernobog? It's gonna be Storm Ray John.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean, we know that one is a follower, so like if he does have the snake or anything like that, it's game.
Yeah.
But if not, Knive is looking quite nice here as he gets the 16 with a lot of annoying characters that would get rid of everything. Let's see.
I think this is gonna be the last turn.
I think so.
Is Goat going for a challenge? He is. Challenging the fox
18.
would be his only target. That'll go to 18. So we did not have a bounce. Keeps our opponent
3.
off.
White Rose.
Oh, and White Rose.
Oh,
Just gonna go wide. Okay, saying answer this. You must answer every character on my board.
That is a rough spot.
And
I
Knives doesn't have anything in hand. So heart of the cards. What can you draw?
I don't think he's got it. Man.
Be prep off the top. This is my
That's
family
19.
gathering knowledge and wisdom. And it's is it a goat? It's an Elsa.
Not
a bad card to draw, but not enough, and gives a nice electronic handshake.
So close yet so far
Good game.
away. What a nice little game to wrap it up. Unfortunately for Knive, Sasuke was able to constantly draw more cards, never run out of gas.
Yeah.
As Sasuke gets the nice dub.
Very,
Wow,
very
wow,
nice.
Wow. Boom. Wow, it got heated up in here.
Yeah,
It was
dude.
so close. Oh my goodness.
For real.
That was a good game.
Well, first of all, congratulations to Sasuke for that dub. I am so sorry, my bird enjoying friend. I was very close. So we flew super close to the sun as we unfortunately get 19 out of the game 3. Mr. Rudrose, any questions for these amazing players?
Oh, that was excellent. So Sasuke, starting with that game 3, because I think that was the most intense and back and forth. First of all, congratulations. Secondly,
Thank you.
you pitched, or I think you inked an Elsa pretty close to the end of that. And I was kind of worried because I thought, well, wow, that's one of your few ways to answer these evasive characters without the spot removal. Can you kind of walk me through that play? Like, what made you say, nope, Elsa's, I think you ended up discarding it to one of Knives' effects.
Yeah, so I mean, my issue is like it's 5 ink, and at this point in time, I was starting to lose control of the board. The way that purple still plays, like especially the mid range list, is that like turns 4 through 7, 4 through 8, that's when you're really taking over the game. You're starting to create those lore leads and those lore deficits, like those huge lore deficits, which I was able to get early on. And then once turn 8, turn 9 happens, you're no longer able to fight for the board, so you just got to start racing. And that was kind of my perspective at that point. It was like, I think it was like turn 7, turn 8, and I was like, okay, also lost her value.
Very nice, very nice. Well, it certainly paid off for you. I was getting a little worried, but I imagine it's very different playing in matches, and this goes to you as well, Knives, that when you know your opponent's not on Ruby or some big steel board wipe, that you know, hey, this game is mostly going to be solved by challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, unless the opponent is playing steel or ruby, you know that they're going to be most of their removal is going to be challenge based, which is hilarious because when you combine ruby and steel together, it wants to challenge like crazy.
Kind of an oxymoron, isn't it?
But yeah, and that's the primary way of how this deck takes out opponents' characters. Another way is by basically counterspelling them with discard effects. So, for example, the reason he couldn't put down that Elsa and he didn't have a situation for it was because I made him discard and attack his hand. So, in a way, a sudden chill is a removal spell.
Yeah.
And then in game 3, when I had the Peter Pan out and all of my birds have rush, that's what really saved me in this third game and actually kept me alive in this match.
Yeah, Peter Pan put in work.
Indeed.
It really did.
Peter Pan. I mean, I've seen you through this bird journey you've taken in set 7, from the early stages to now. You said birds are dead to now back. I know you brought the last time I played. You didn't have the Peter Pan line. We kind of changed it. How did we come back to the birds? I want to know the story of did you stare at that pigeon mask you have and decided it's time that it got like Green Goblin you? What happened?
Well, the big thing was whenever I said that like the birds were kind of dying away, the primary thing that got me back was the Peter Pan kind of package because I wasn't originally putting that in, but after a couple days testing with it, and especially a week ago whenever the meta was more evasive focused, it just felt right, and we were kind of thrown in here last minute, so I was just throwing it together and put it in.
Absolutely. And Sasuke, you brought the almost all reliable, just all around, all gas. We got it all. How do you feel about Amethyst Steel just kind of being always the stout deck of the format, if you will?
Honestly, I think purple steel is just like, I think I've said this before, that steel is like my favorite color, and then amethyst is like one of the top 3 for me. So it's just, I don't know, it's just a fun deck. I don't really like look at decks and be like, oh, this deck is going to be the best deck. I just play what I really like, and honestly, for purple steel, or amethyst steel rather, it's really resonated with like my play style in general. I don't know if you ever played Magic the Gathering, but in Legacy, back in like 2010, Rug Delver was like the main squeeze, and that was the only legacy deck that I had built.
Yeah.
So I just really love that kind of aggressive play style where you're just playing for tempo for the board and looking for these big swingy turns to kind of gain these small incremental advantages, and then just, I don't know, it's like pushing a snowball down a hill,
Yeah.
Right.
So I wanted to ask that the third game was the most compelling back and forth. Oh,
Knive camming right now.
very nice. Happy to see you there. So
I love
right, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I love the angle we're getting of Knive.
Yeah, very nice. So game 3 was the most back and forth and kind of compelling. Both game 1 and 2, it felt like the players who won Sasuke game 1, Knives game 2, that you kind of just got these cracked openings where you saw everything you wanted to. I didn't know if either of you had any comments on those games where if you felt like if you lost that game, do you think there was anything you could have done differently, or was it one of those, they just kind of had everything, there's not much you can do in that situation?
At least for me, game 2, definitely. I mean, I don't know how I'm supposed to beat triple Diablo on the draw when they get double Ursula on top of the fact. That was rough.
And in game 1, I didn't find Diablo until the late game, and I couldn't find a way to get rid of his songs. I think if I had a Tusla in there somewhere, I could have had a better time. I might have had a Tusla now that I think about it, but
I mean, 3 storms is too many storms.
Yeah,
that's a lot of the birds don't like the lightning
or the cold weather. So yeah, it definitely
cold
was
bothers
the story of
them
those
all
games.
the way.
Yeah. Sasuke, I was just gonna ask, were you running any more instant lore? So we saw the goat and we saw the rose. Were you running anything like knowledge and wisdom or the new Koba or anything like that?
So I'm like online. I've been flip-flopping between White Rose and Cobra, and both are like situationally really, really good. I think Cobra is overall better if I'm playing more Doc, but right now I only have that one Doc in my list. And I mean, you got to see how much value it got me in game number 3, right? That top deck just saved my whole game, really, and I just was on the Doc game plan until I no longer needed to be. But if I have like 4 Docs, I feel like the Cobra is just significantly better because your hand state doesn't matter nearly as much. But when your hand state really does depend on it, because I'm playing the rabbit, so I'm trying to stay on like 3 or 4 cards on average on hand, and that's when the Doc kind of loses its value. So yeah, I mean, as you saw there, Doc is kind of like one of those game plans where you're like, okay, maybe if I'm going to against the discard deck, it's going to be a good top deck, or if I just don't see Rabbit anytime soon, it's a great top deck. And there's a lot of situations where it's a dead card, which is why there's only one of it. But yeah, I feel like White Rose and Giant Cobra are pretty interchangeable. I wouldn't look at any other instant lore gain effects though.
Fair enough. I'd say you guys put on a heck of an entertaining match. Those are all the questions I had. Breezy, do you have anything else you wanted to?
The only thing I gotta add is, gentlemen, where can people find you? Any shout outs you'd like to do before we let y'all off the night and enjoy the rest of it?
Yeah, sure. I'll go for it. First off, shout out to Y Breezy, because he's actually an amazing person.
Terrible human being. Awful.
Shout out to ICL. Shout out to 20 Lore Pro. If you guys want to find me, just look at I guess my deck list or stuff like that. You can find me on twitch.tv/SoftKTV or on my YouTube. Same thing, SoftKTV. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Knives?
Yeah, you can find me on almost every Discord channel. You can also find me primarily on the site formerly known as Twitter. And I make YouTube videos, but I'm about as consistent as an Oswald trigger. So, yeah, I make that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again to Sasuke and 20 Lore Pro for taking it on this evening. And Knives, you put up a heck of a fight. So thank you for entertaining us tonight, gentlemen.
I think you're like last second sliding through the sub line and just getting on the action. Incredible stuff.
One last shout out. Shout out to Rude Rose. I didn't say that earlier. I should.
Oh, thanks,
yes,
man. I
indeed,
appreciate
Rude
that.
Rose, yes. Hey, Mizzou represent.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of, I'm heading up there for set champs. Better watch out.
Are you? Okay, well, maybe I'll see you up there.
Ooh, well, gents, have a wonderful rest of your night, and thank you for showing up. They bring in another fantastic night of ICL Wednesday, round 3. Wrapping up the round 3 slowly but surely and getting into playoff as we get into action here. What a fantastic set of games we got here at the end there. Rudros, it was an honor and a pleasure to do this. The energy was, again, my roof is still here,
fun,
which
man.
is great.
Yeah.
The
Didn't have to
interest
pay for a
fraud we
new
couldn't
roof.
do,
That was
but
good.
it is a-okay. But we're gonna go through it. Again, thank you so much for doing this.
Awesome. Well, we'll do a quick shout out. You can check out me out at my socials. I'm going to put them in the chat below. Check me out on YouTube. I just put out a new video today. and letting you know which decks to take to set championships. What about you, Breezy?
Well, I'll be here live tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern with a terrible little show called Lorcana After Dark, where we'll have our wonderful guest, Color is Law, where we're also going to peer pressure her into releasing her series. So it'll be a fantastic time. See us there, twitch.tv/ybreezy or Twitter @ybreezy. So have a wonderful rest of your nights. It was an honor and a pleasure. And I believe we're rating someone. So have a wonderful rest of your nights, everybody.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.
We're floating in space. You gotta tell us when it's done, Wonder, because we look very dumb. Let's go.